sitting at 2-7. They have the same record, but both have the same hopes. Advance to the next round and see if they can continue on in this district tournament. And, of course, Hallsville making the near 2-hour trip up here to the St. Louis area and getting ready to get things going. Well, we're going to get things going with the pregame show. It's going to be a little bit shorter here. We have a longer interview with Coach Stevens, but unfortunately, we're going to have to cut that short a little bit. The game is starting in just over 8.5 minutes, and of course, we have a little bit more to bring up to you. The quick interview with head coach Paul Stevens comes up next. We are going to cut that off and then bring you to the lineups presented by Cassandra Gazaway, Mary Kay Independent Beauty Consultant. All that comes up next. You're listening to the Hallsville pregame show here on the Show Me Sports Network on MSHSAA.TV. And welcome back into your Hallsville Indians pregame show here on the Show Me Sports Network. I'm Austin Thomas, joined by head coach Paul Stevens. And coach, coming off of, last week, it was a little bit of a rough finish for Hallsville. And now you guys have to go on the road and you're heading 2 hours east towards Winfield. It's going to be a tough game playing on the road as well. Just could you give me a rundown of what your thoughts are real quick entering tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, would have loved to host, but didn't get didn't finish that game out last week. But, I'm always a glass half full type of guy, so I'm looking at the positives and, just getting the kids motivated. I thought this week has been a tough practice, but, at the same time, it was good for our kids and something that we needed. And just to see the kids still have some fight left in them with all these close games that we've had. So, I have no doubt in my mind that our kids are going to go out there and they're going to compete and do the best of their ability and try to find a way to win.
Well, this one, a really odd game that maybe you haven't seen since the first game of the season. A lot of the film that you've got on these guys are against teams that you haven't seen before. You go through Winfield's schedule. We haven't really seen any of these teams. And really haven't seen anything like that since the first game against Palmyra, where you don't really have anything to compare off of. How have you guys been preparing for that when you don't have as much of similar competition?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we've been focusing on this week is ourselves. Some of the mistakes that we're making are self-inflicted and putting ourselves in positions to not be successful, so we're really just focused on ourselves and we're going to put our kids out there in the best position possible to compete and to showcase their abilities. Winfield's obviously a trip, but at the same time, I have no doubt our kids are going to go out there and do what they need to do to compete. And our biggest thing is just finishing games and because it seems like we've been in a lot of close games, but just finding a way to win. And it's tough, winning's a tough thing to do, but just kind of going back to what you're saying about Winfield, they're a tale of two halves as well, meaning the film that we got at the beginning of the year from Winfield, a lot of it was spread, throwing the football around, and that kind of stuff. And then now they're under center and running the football 40 times a game. So it's two totally different teams from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So I anticipate and expect them to want to get under center and I formation and run old school football right at us, ISOs and blasts and leads and those type of stuff. So we've been really working on our run fits a lot this week and being able to stop the run. And if we're going to lose the football game, we gotta have them beat us in something that they're not good at.
Yeah, and of course, a big part of that is probably because Connor Martin started the season as the quarterback over there. I mean, he threw for 700 passing yards to start the season, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But more recently, it's been Colin Westhoff who's kind of taken over as the quarterback for that team, and he struggled a little bit. But are you guys hoping that you can kind of build off of that struggle? You look at his passing game, 3 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. How are you planning on kind of utilizing that to your ability in the passing game as well?
Yeah, I mean, just talking I don't know if an injury occurred or what happened, if the coaches decided to make a decision. Wasn't too sure, but I think they've kind of found their niche in running the football. They have a massive offensive line. I think their center 6'6", close to 300 pounds. They've shown a couple of other guys that are 6'4", 6'5", 260, 270 plus. So, I mean, stylistically, it's been tough for us as a team that's been struggling defensively, stopping the run, to go up against those type of teams that run the football and pound the rock. And when you have a massive, a big offensive line like Winfield does, it could be, tough on us. But at the same time, I think our kids have been really, the effort's there. The effort's there. It's just the small details of getting off the field on fourth downs. We have to have some pride and be able to stop teams whenever they're going for it on fourth down, because a lot of teams, they're going for it because they don't want our offense to touch the football. So that's how I look at it, and that's, the challenge that I'm telling our kids is we have to stop the run. We stop the run, we're going to win. I have no doubt in my mind. If we stop the run in our district, we're going to win the district. And that's what I've told our kids, and they truly believe it. So we've been really focusing on run fits and playing physical football. We have to play physical, and if we want to continue playing on Friday nights, we have to stop the run. We have to be physical, and we have to have discipline defensively in our run fits.
Yeah, and when I talked to you earlier in the season about stopping the run, one of the things that you harped on a ton was lining up correctly, and there was some misalignment that led to big runs earlier in the season. Has that not carried over, and is it more so there's a different weakness, or are you still working on that aspect as well?
We're still working on that aspect. It's an unfortunate thing, because it just seems like every week we're having trouble lining up to the football. So a lot of teams have been able to run the football against us because we're outnumbered. So that's something I put on myself as the coach, is to get better at putting our kids in better positions and understanding alignment, because it's tough to be successful defensively if you cannot align correctly before the play even happens. So our goal this week, and we've been focusing in on all, every day at practice, is to align correctly, but we have to communicate and be on the same page. It's football is the ultimate team sport, and we got to just have communication. We got to get our guys in the right spots, and I've put a lot on some of these guys, especially our linebackers there. Wyatt Morris, he's become a pretty good vocal leader for us defensively. We started huddling for the first time last week, and we're just continuing to put more on him. He calls our strengths. He's now getting our players into the correct spots, and I understand it's tough as a sophomore to do that, but at the same time, I understand he wants to win, and it's a job that he's more than capable of doing, and I have no doubt he's going to do an outstanding job tomorrow of getting our guys in better position to stop the run.
So with Wyatt Morris starting to kind of be that leader, have there been any other changes defensively to try and help you still line up properly?
I think it's just more on me, as a coach, of doing a better job of helping them out defensively. I've been really focused on the offensive side as a head coach, and this week I've been, really focused defensively just as much as I have offensively. So I told the kids, it's this is it, it's win or go home at this point, and I'm giving all of my time and effort on not only offense but defense as well. So, and that's why I told you after the game, in the California game, I got to do a better job. As the head coach, it falls on me.
Yeah, and again, looking back at the season in general, there's a lot to kind of, take from it.
Seeking to express your unique style? How about healthier, clear skin? Look no further than Mary Kay. For more than 60 years, Mary Kay has been offering a wide range of high-quality makeup and skincare products that empower you to shine and stand out in any setting. From luscious lipsticks to vibrant eyeshadows, flawless foundations to glowing highlights, moisturizing serum to blemish and acne regimens, Mary Kay's got you covered. If you don't have a Mary Kay beauty consultant, then I've got you covered. To get your best skin, call me, Cassandra Gazway, today at 417-684-2667, or visit online at marykay.com/Cassandra Gazway.
Well, hello and welcome in. Like I said, we had to cut the interview short, and, well, it's time for those starting lineups presented by Cassandra Gazaway, Mary Kay Independent Beauty Consultant, as kickoff has come and gone. Winfield starting with the ball, which is a little bit different. You almost always see Hallsville want to return to start the game off, And a lot of times the other teams say okay to that, as here's a run up the middle that is stuffed by Hallsville, maybe a yard on there, as they get the ball from the 31 to the 30, from the 32 to the 33-yard line. 2nd and 9 coming up. But those starting lineups for you, first off with the defense of Winfield, Reagan Marston, Bo Schulte, DJ Barth, and Isaac Zelmer are in the secondary. At linebacker, Kyle Moore, Warren Conrad, and Timmy Emmons. The snap is a lot of early movement. Seems like the backs in the backfield weren't ready for the snap. I didn't see a flag thrown, although that does surprise me. But it looks like they're going to say he lost a yard on the play. I didn't get to see what happened. Killian, did you?
No, I couldn't quite understand.
So it looks like they must have snapped the ball to somebody under center that I didn't even see was there. And then he got swallowed up at the line. That appears to be what it is. But to finish off the starting lineup presented by Cassandra Gazaway, Mary Kay Independent Beauty Consultant, the defensive line for Winfield is J.J. Edwards, Jackson Schultz, Grant Seidel, and Logan Keel. For the Hallsville offense, we'll get to that in a bit. Colin Westhoff is under center. He took the snap, rolls out left, looks to throw, and it's a little behind, and it's intercepted. Gabe Jenkins has it. He's taken this one back down the right sideline, twisted around, and thrown down at the 10. What a play!
And there's a key member of your Hallsville offense playing some defense.
Gabe Jenkins taking that one. It was a tipped pass. It was a little behind the intended target, and that is interception number 5 on the year for Colin Westhoff. Not the way that he wanted to start out the district quarterfinals, but for Hallsville, they will certainly take it. 10:38 to go. And, well, we were just previewing this side of the ball, so let's get to the Hallsville offense, as they will be bringing out Braden Matheny as the quarterback with Dalvin Smith and Wyatt Morris both in the backfield. And at receivers, you got Isaac Stinson, Gabe Jenkins, Lawson Burks, and Aiden Ski. On the offensive line, Tyson Perigo, Peyton Harlow, Ethan Wright, Connor George, and Liam Davis. The starting lineups presented by Cassandra Gazaway, Mary Kay Independent Beauty Consultant. 4 receivers on the left, 1 on the right in this setup. Smith, Jenkins, Ski, and Stinson are on the left side, and I believe that's Burks all alone on the right. Here's the snap, looking to throw left side. Isaac Stinson's got it, cuts inside at the 10, tries to break a tackle, can't quite do it. The ball comes out, but they're going to say he was on the ground. Gabe Jenkins is limping his way back towards the middle of the field as well, not putting much pressure on one of his legs. He might have to come off the field here, as we'll see, but Isaac Stinson on the play there. He was the one that tried to cut it up. Wyatt Morris checking in for Dalvin Smith. Taking a look at the defensive side for Hallsville. Well, let's, of course, actually break down the Winfield offensive starters before we get to that. Wyatt Morris and Braden Matheny in the backfield. 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Here's the snap. Matheny dropping back. He's on the left hash, just throws over the middle. It's caught by Jenkins. Cuts back, up into the end zone. Touchdown, Hallsville. Gabe Jenkins takes it to the house. 6-0 early on. Jenkins had the interception. He followed it up with the 4-yard receiving touchdown.
And you can't ask for a better start to the game if you're Gabe Jenkins at this point.
No, you cannot. The 2-point conversion, of course, expected from Hallsville, as they love to do. They have certainly struggled with them throughout the season, but they're hoping that they can continue to improve, as it has looked like they've improved on those 2-point attempts. Specifically, you look at the last couple of weeks, they've been a lot better. And so now the offense getting back out there and ready to go. And here's the snap, running left side, trying to take this one. He's flipped up and onto the ground. Did not work out for Hallsville, as that was Aiden Ski who got it on a little bit of pre-snap motion, but was not able to bring it up the field. It is 6-0, however, and Hallsville looking pretty good to start the game, I'd say. I'm Austin Thomas, joined by Killian Wright. We kind of got started pretty quickly here. Got a little bit behind with some technical difficulties, but the start to the game here, no technical difficulties from the Hallsville side.
No, none at all. Great way to capitalize on that field position advantage off the Gabe Jenkins interception. Great job by Gabe Jenkins to finish the drive for the Hallsville Indians. Overall, very fantastic start to the game as they're going to basically start the game with the ball and start halftime with the ball, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, they will, basically. I mean, that's great news for Hallsville. They start out the game as if they did return. Well, we will take a look at the defensive side of the ball and the defensive starters for Hallsville, of course, after this kickoff. As Jack Wooden does try an onside kick. It doesn't go too far, but it is jumped on top of by Winfield, and so the Warriors get the ball, and we'll start with it just past the 50 at the 49. Still in Winfield territory, but they just need a yard to get over into Hallsville side. Let's take a look at the starters on the offensive side for Winfield. The two wide receivers are DJ Barth and Bo Schulte. At tight end, Logan Keel. On the offensive line, Caden Rowland, J.J. Edwards, Connor Gerholt, Michael Elsenrath, and Gage Fisher. While at quarterback, it's Colin Westhoff, and at running back, Timmy Emmons and Warren Conrad. As here's some whistles prior to the play, and we'll see what they are as the teams both enter a huddle. One of the things that, honestly, I don't know if we got to it as we were kind of working around and trying to figure out what to go, but one of the things that Coach Stevens told me in the pregame interview is he was talking about Wyatt Morris as a defensive leader, really helping make sure that the guys get set up out there for Hallsville, and they've started entering a huddle defensively, not something that they had done at the start of the season. Wyatt Morris has been a key leader there. Talking about that defense for Hallsville, let's look at the starters. In the secondary, it's Eli Washam, Landon Cunningham, and Lawson Burks. At linebacker, Carter Giesler. Aiden Ski here's a bunch of contact, and the play is going to be a loss of 1, it looks like. Warren Conrad had that one and was turned upside down for a loss of 1. It's 2nd and 11 from the 48. Finishing up with the starters, of course, the linebackers, Carter Giesler, Aiden Ski, Wyatt Morris, and Dalvin Smith. And on the defensive line, Jack Stockamp, Luke Peasley, Tyson Perigo, and Jack Wooden. And now getting ready to go. Here's the snap. It's going to be a handoff going left side. Conrad not getting much room either there, although a gain of a few. He's got it into Hallsville territory. Looks like they're going to give him 4 yards on that. Tackled down at the 48-yard line and switching the side of the field, but it's still 3rd and 7. Or, well, we'll see exactly. It's 3rd and 7.5.
Well, you mentioned Wyatt Morris is turning into a bit of a leader of the defense, leading these huddles and kind of being the defensive quarterback in a sense. It's really impressive for only a sophomore, honestly, to go out there and be that much of an on-field leader and vocal presence. You don't see it very often.
No, you don't, and that's what makes him so great out there. As here's the snap, it's another handoff. Conrad trying to find some space, gets a little bit, but only halfway to the first down marker before he's tackled. And it sets up a 4th and 3. We'll see if they go for this. The punter has been Morse this season, Galmishi. We never got an official pronunciation on that. And
we'll roll with Galmishi.
we're gonna get corrected at halftime. Realize we've been pronouncing that completely wrong. So a pre-warning there for probably messing up the name, but looks like the offense is back out there. No signs of the punter. And here's some pre-snap motion from left to right. Hallsville is set up, but a flag is thrown. As we'll see who that's on.
It appears it's on Hallsville.
Well, that's what
Winfield
is clapping, but I didn't see anyone from Hallsville cross the neutral zone. Although it looks like they are going to call it against Hallsville. There was some pre-snap movement from Hallsville, but it looked like they were going from right to left and just moving the defensive line. There must have been something on the far side of the field I wasn't looking at. And so now it looks like it's a first down for Winfield as they will move the chains. Colin Westhoff coming out and getting into the huddle for Winfield and trying to lead this offense down the field for a scoring drive. Hallsville up 6-0 with 7:24 to go in the first quarter. Here's a snap, a quick handoff to the fullback, and barely got the handoff in time before he was even tackled.
Nothing there.
Timmy
Hallsville
Emmons
defenders were just all the way in the backfield immediately. Just like you said, barely even got the handoff. Blown
Timmy
up
Emmons
the play.
was the fullback there, and they tried to get him the ball, but lucky they didn't lose it.
That would have been 2 really early turnovers for Winfield. Not the way you want to start a game.
No, it is not, but well, you look at the offensive side of the ball from that Winfield team, and they had to make a big shift partway through the season, switching from Connor Martin to Colin Westhoff at quarterback, and they've gone to a lot more of a run-type game. As here's a throw right side, a big hit, and the ball is loose. A nice job by Aiden Ski on the pass defense. That was intended for Logan Keel, the senior tight end, who's been an incredible player for them.
He's been their number 1 option all
Yeah.
season. About 329 yards in the year, 5 touchdowns. He's the go-to guy in this offense. You can tell they like to look for him as the first read, and he's kind of that senior presence on the field as a leader.
Well, he doesn't lead the team in receptions at 19, but he certainly leads the team in total yards, almost double the second receiver. No, my math is a little off there. As here's a rollout right side. Colin Westhoff tries to throw off his back foot, can't hit his man. Logan Keel, again, the intended target. But a flag is thrown on the field, and they're going to go talk about this.
We're seeing about a 50% flag rate to start this game.
Something like that. So the refs are cracking down as it is the playoffs, and it's a legal man downfield on Winfield. So we'll see if that is accepted. No, it is not. It is declined. It brings up a 4th and 11, a huge play there, and Hallsville is going to get likely the turnover, but I don't see the signs of the punter. They might be going for this because, heck, they are in Hallsville territory. They know Hallsville is going to put up some points here.
And it's going to be interesting to see what they do because you just targeted Logan Keel back-to-back plays, so to go for him a third time might be a bit predictable, but at the same time, a little bit of reverse psychology. Maybe so predictable it's not.
Maybe. Of course, he is good enough, though, that you don't really feel bad about that. Westhoff has a defender that he's trying to avoid. He gets wrapped up by Aiden Ski at the 50. He came in like a bullet and took him down. A loss of over 10, and Hallsville gets the turnover on downs right next to their own territory.
Westhoff nearly evaded. He did evade that first attempt at the sack, but Ski just, like you said, came in there like a bullet. I don't think I've seen a linebacker run that fast in the backfield in a while. He was coming in guns blazing, man.
Yeah, he was a missile, and he was locked onto his target. That must have been some guided targeting right there to find his way right to the quarterback because he did not slow down one bit.
Well, we've seen Ski use his speed and agility in the open field on the offensive side of the ball all year, and when he gets in that open space and defense on those blitzes, it's real hard to stop.
Well, Ski lined up in the left side slot along with 2 other receivers. Dalvin Smith going in motion. Snap to Matheny. He looks to throw left side. Now evades pressure. Throws off the back foot and out of bounds on the right side intended for Dalvin Smith.
3 defenders kind of boxed Matheny in there. Didn't really let him escape the pocket as he quite wanted to, I think. Didn't let him use those legs and pick up any yardage with it.
Well, he's been really good with his pocket presence this season, and I feel like that's one part of the game that you've really seen him develop in. Of course, throughout the year, we've also seen him develop with his decision-making. I know for the first really half of the year, he had really struggled with interceptions, but these past few weeks, he's been really good at limiting those.
And now's the time to be good at that. It's playoffs, the most important game of the year.
Matheny in the backfield, and he's looking to throw quickly. Left side, Isaac Stinson, who's tackled at just shy of the 45 into Winfield territory, but it's going to be 3rd and 7 or 6.
And Stinson is usually that go-to guy, especially on the boundaries. Matheny loves to throw around the area of the sticks, let Stinson kind of make a move and beat his man. If it works, it works. But you know Stinson's going to be old reliable.
Well, you know, I talk about the interceptions from Braden Matheny on the season. He has quite a few, but Winfield just 7 as a team through the 9 games that they've played. Matheny ready to go. He's got a bunch of receivers on the right, a man in the backfield, quick throw left side. Isaac Stinson cutting inside and moving ahead for the first down up to the 35-yard line where he is tackled and move those chains because Hallsville is into Winfield territory and deep into it at that.
And there's the Hallsville bread and butter. Throwing right around the sticks, let Ski and Stinson and Jenkins try and make a move on their man, gain a couple of rack yards, but then once those start clicking, then eventually those big downfield plays will open up.
And now Matheny with Wyatt Morris beside him, and a whistle is blown as we will look at the referees as they discuss something as Isaac Stinson is heading off to the right side. It looks like, is he wearing something he's not allowed to wear? Maybe a, well, I'm not sure. Although Isaac Stinson did come off to the sideline, and in his place, Dalvin Smith heading off to that receiver spot alone on the near side. So still 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. A flag is thrown as soon as the ball is snapped. And we'll see what it is. It's offsides against Winfield. So they will give 5 yards there and blew the play dead as they get ready to go. And yes, so they were just re-signaling. It seems like the referees are signaling twice on flag plays just to make sure that everyone gets them, which I actually quite like. Sometimes I miss it. But anyways, we're ready to go here. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Isaac Stinson still on the sideline. As here's the snap to Matheny. He's facing pressure, trying to evade it. Rolls left, rolls right. He's got some space, avoids the sack, looks to throw off the back foot towards the sideline and just out of reach. Man, Aiden Ski nearly had that, but instead it falls incomplete.
That was just an incredible use of his legs to kind of, well, make something out of nothing, but make nothing out of something bad in this case.
Yes.
Yeah, that could have been easily a 15, 20-yard loss, and Matheny so good about shifting his direction way faster than opposing defensive linemen.
A very underrated part of his game right there. Of course, everyone knows his arm. Not a lot of people know his maneuverability within and outside of the pocket. 4:44 to go in the first quarter. Hallsville up 6-0. They're looking to double that lead. They are at the 30-yard line, and a whistle is blown. And something against Hallsville. I don't know what that call is. It looked like when you go down a water slide and you cross your arms and you put them on both of your shoulders.
Too much fun.
Excessive celebrating. No, I mean, the ball hadn't even been snapped. Well, it's not delay a game because delay a game is a different signal. It wasn't a false start because it's also a different signal. And it wasn't on the defense. So I'm not entirely sure what the call was. But it is 2nd and 10 nonetheless at the 35. Here's the snap to Matheny. He's looking to throw again, facing pressure. He gets away and tries to throw this downfield, and it's well out of play. It was intended for Isaac Stinson, but he had no shot at it, and it's 3rd and 10.
And this Winfield defensive line is getting a lot of pressure, especially for being early game when you're kind of hoping your offensive line is able to be fresh and ready and agile to protect your quarterback. It's not looking amazing in terms of Matheny's pressure situation right now.
Well, it also looks like they're sending a couple of blitzes here and there. I believe that I counted a few more men chasing Matheny than are lined up at the defensive line.
And that's usually where Wyatt Morris comes in to help pass block on those plays.
That's going to be huge here as the snap to Matheny. Rolling right side, looking to throw downfield. He makes the completion. Gabe Jenkins has it for a first down. Hallsville moves those chains, and
if you noticed right there, that outside blitzer was coming in hot off the left, but who was there to pick up the blitz? Wyatt Morris.
Yeah.
Great job giving Matheny an extra second or two to go ahead and hit Jenkins on the sideline. Perfect execution there from the Hallsville offense.
and that's exactly what you wanted. So Hallsville now set up on the far side hashes. And they're going to try and work their way downfield. The ball is spotted at the 23. They've got to get to the 13 for a first down. Just over 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here's the snap to Matheny. Quick throw left side. Gabe Jenkins has it. Cuts up the field and gets to about the 16-yard line where he is tackled inbounds. And a gain of 7 yards on the play. 2nd and 3 coming up.
Once again, Gabe Jenkins. We've seen kind of consistently they script him into the offense very early on in the game. I think he's kind of a player who likes to he feeds off that momentum almost, and getting him involved early in the game can really help in terms of progressing your offense to the rest of the game.
We had that huge game earlier in the season. You go back to Week 5 against Eldon, a big win, and Gabe Jenkins was huge. As here's one launched left side, Isaac Stinson, who mosses his defender and stares him down and makes the catch. He is going to get a flag for that, and still 6 points for Hallsville. It's 12-0 in the first.
And the verticality of Isaac Stinson is just unmatchable for a lot of these defensive backs in these mid-Missouri areas. It's just really hard for these smaller backs to get up. Along with the reach of Stinson, he just has a height and reach like no other receiver, honestly.
So unsportsmanlike conduct did go against Hallsville. As
I think the stare down was okay.
Yeah,
what the ref got him for was the little spin ball he put on it at the end.
Yeah.
Was not a fan of that.
It was a little bit much, but it is playoff time, and you can expect to see tempers to be a little bit higher here as
it's a big moment. It's intense.
Yeah.
Scored a playoff touchdown.
well, you're not really thinking whenever you make a play like that. You're not thinking. You're just doing. You have your instincts, and your instincts are go to the ball, and then after the play, it's kind of just a blur. I know what that's like from my many touchdowns in flag football that I've played.
Should we get you out here?
Trust me, I would be of no use on that football field, though. Flag football, though. As a PAT attempt for Hallsville, the first one of the season. Not something I was expecting. It is up, and it is no good. Well, that is not something that we have seen Hallsville attempt all year long. Playoffs come around, they attempt the PAT, but it is no good. And that was, I believe, Hunter Noakes on the PAT attempt.
Well, in the two-point conversion there would have gave you the full two-possession lead. So maybe just wanted to see what they had in terms of kicking game. Maybe a late game situation. If a field goal needed to happen, maybe they just wanted to see what was going on.
Of course, they did try the two-point conversion attempt earlier in the game. That did not work, but neither did the PAT attempt. The first time that Hallsville has attempted a kick all season. Well, safe to say, I wasn't expecting that today. There's a lot of results I could have seen. I was not expecting to see a PAT attempt by Hallsville.
Playoff football, man. Anything can happen.
So it's 12-0 here in the first quarter. 3:19 left on the clock. Gabe Jenkins had the 4-yard receiving touchdown at the beginning of the game. That was on the heels of a big interception and return. And then the second drive of the game for Hallsville also resulted in points. Isaac Stinson, his 16-yard receiving touchdown. Kickoff by Jack Wooden. Up and away. This one is not an onside kick attempt. Of course, they were pushed back from the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and they get him pinned back at the 45. Nice job by the Hallsville kicking team.
Well, and this Hallsville defense really hasn't allowed too much progress from the Winfield offense all game. I think only allowed about 30 yards so far.
Yeah, I mean, it really hasn't been all that much.
Yeah, they've been pretty on top of things, not really letting receivers get any sort of space if they do catch the ball.
Yeah, and of course you saw the pressure as well. Aiden Ski had that huge sack on the turnover on downs last drive. That was big for Hallsville, and they're able to come up with the big plays. The Hallsville defense certainly stepping up in this one. Winfield's offense is back out there ready to go, and here's a run right side, and Hallsville was also ready to go, swallowing it up at the line of scrimmage, a gain of 0.
Absolutely nothing. Just multiple defenders from Hallsville all over the ball, not letting any room for any sort of open space, open field type of moves. They're just keeping it pretty rough and tough physical game right now.
Well, despite the 2-7 record for Winfield, they have actually managed to have a pretty solid offensive showing. They're averaging 260 yards per game of total offenses. Here's a throw right side. It is caught, but gets maybe 1 yard there as DJ Barth had the reception. They're going to call it 2 yards. Gets him up to the 48-yard line, and it's 3rd and 8.
So this is a position we've seen Winfield in 3 times now in the game, right around that midfield mark and 3-4 down territory. Interesting to see what they're going to do. Last time we saw them target Logan Keel, a pass, and they got blitzed and sacked. It did not work very well for them. Interesting to see what's going to happen here in terms of run, pass, who they target.
While Keel leads the team in receiving yards by over 100, it is actually Keel that leads the team in receptions, as here's a run up the right side, plenty of space. And Conrad is tackled down across the 35 at the 34. A big gain for him, and that's almost 18 yards on the carry.
That was a really good play design with a little bit of misdirection going on in the backfield in terms of counter draw up the right side. Really distracting, and it almost, honestly, I kind of almost lost the ball on there.
Yeah, really good job by Warren Conrad and Winfield as they have this one into Hallsville territory. Ball at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. It's another handoff right side, trying to take this one up. And the Bull Power Rush is going to get a yard on the carry. Again, Timmy Emmons on the carry. Emmons and Conrad have kind of been splitting carries in this game. As you've kind of seen throughout the season, Emmons actually having more carries, but Conrad more yards. Conrad averaging 6.1 yards a carry and 9 touchdowns, while Emmons is used more for those power-type runs. And while he doesn't have the touchdown totals, he is still getting a fairly large size per carry. As here's a run up the middle. Warren Conrad gets another large gain, call it 6 or so yards on it. Has him across the 30-yard line and up to the 28.
Well, this is a team that splits their carries up a lot. I mean, they run the ball a ton as a team collectively, but everyone sees some action. As you mentioned, Timmy Emmons leads the team in carries, Warren Conrad there in second, but then you see some from Alexavier Bennett, 15 carries, 13 for Jordan Beck, 18 for DJ Barth. Quarterbacks run. Both quarterbacks have ran a little bit. So we see them split it up in terms of everyone kind of getting to touch the ball in the backfield.
As here's a snap, but a whistle before the play, so they will blow this one dead. And it is a timeout for Hallsville, so they will go ahead and take a break with 7.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Still 12-0. And Hallsville's been looking pretty good, but the defense is certainly being tested right now.
Yeah, so far this is definitely the most successful drive that the Winfield offense has put together. Finally approaching that red zone. Be interested to see if Hallsville maybe sends a blitz here to back him up, get him out of that range. As Winfield does have a kicker on their roster, so maybe a chance they are thinking field goal.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Winfield, and they've made 3 field goals this year. That's all on the backs of Morse, their kicker, number 83 on the team. And, well, Colin Morse is he's kind of a mix of a player. He's been the field goal and PAT kicker, but Galmish is the kickoff man and also the punter for the team. So they kind of split it up between the two of them from what you see out there as timeout gets ready to conclude here. I mean, you look at, you mentioned a potential for a blitz here. I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to go for that. I think that would be a pretty good spot to do that.
Yeah, if you get a blitz here, it definitely pushes them out of field goal range unless we see some monster D1 level stuff here.
Well, I think to be fair, I think this is a difficult kick to make for a guy that's made 3 field goals all season. Not to say that he's a bad kicker, making field goals is difficult in high school, and it takes some trust in your coach, but still relatively few reps.
We've got a loaded backfield.
And here's a
here.
snap, handoff, right side up the middle, not going to get there. Conrad stuffed at the 28, no gain on the play, and it's decision time for Winfield.
Well, it looks like Westhoff is coming off the field, talking to coach. Oh, it's just because the quarter ended. My bad.
Yes. Well, also getting the play call as he walks down the sideline, but that is going to do it for this first quarter of action. We'll step aside, come back with, of course, the second quarter of action as you're listening to Hallsville Indians football on the Show Me Sports Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of the Show Me Sports Network under the broadcasting rights granted therein. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the Show Me Sports Network. Announcers are provided by the Show Me Sports Network.
At Centurion Cares, for more than 3 decades, their focus has been on exceeding customer expectations for contact center software solutions. Their innovative communication solutions include utility interactive voice response software that allows for smart communication features that let your utility deliver superior customer service 24/7. They also provide other streamlined services like automatic call distribution, automated customer callback, reporting, and quality assurance. To find out more about how Centurion Cares can help your business, call them at 727-421-5300 or look them up online at centurioncares.com. Centurion Cares, innovative communication solutions.
And welcome back to the Hallsville Indians football versus the Winfield Warriors on the Show Me Sports Network. We are in the second quarter as Hallsville leads 12-0 off 2 touchdowns from Gabe Jenkins and Isaac Stinson. Missed PAT and failed 2-point conversion with those is how we got to this score. And currently, Winfield is in near the red zone in Hallsville territory. On 4th down, though, I think it's about 4th and 5. They've still got some ground to make up if they want to move the sticks here. They're going to go for it. Westhoff in a loaded backfield hands it off to his receiver, and he's stuffed. I do not think he quite reached that first down line, and that is going to be Hallsville ball. Turnover on downs. So once again, a Winfield drive ends with 0.
Aiden Ski, an absolutely huge hit coming off of his blocker, too. That is a difficult play to make, but he was right there and able to make the play defensively and get the ball back in the hands of the Hallsville Indians offense.
And Aiden Ski, typically a guy we see as a go-to on offense, but tonight he's been the go-to on defense, if you want to say. The key sack earlier in the first quarter, this 4th down stop right now. I mean, what more could you ask from him on defense?
Well, he's been involved in the play offensively, but he's made the real impact on the defensive side of the ball.
So we're going to see Matheny go 5 wide right now. He's going to hit his man and cut up field. Not too many yards on that, about a gain of 5, I believe. And that was Ski making the play on the offensive side of the ball now. So call his number, kind of reward him for that 4th down stop.
Well, they did that with Gabe Jenkins earlier in the game. Of course, he had the interception to start it, and then he had the touchdown later in the offensive drive.
I mean, you got to reward your guys. They're going to make plays on defense like that. Got to feed them the ball on offense. It's only fair.
Well, a flag is thrown. Nobody was set on the line, so I'm not sure what this flag is going to be on. Let's wait and see what the referees. So it looks like it's unsportsmanlike conduct on Winfield.
And it appears that coach is maybe scolding a couple of his players on the sideline there.
Head coach for Winfield is Corey Elmendorf.
Well, this is no comment on the refs at all, but this has certainly been a game of penalties.
Yes, it certainly has been, and these two teams definitely need to clean it up. Really on both sides, but hey, it's moving Hallsville down the field for Winfield in front of the home crowd. You've got to quell the nerves of the playoffs and of being in front of the home crowd. A lot of times you look at, okay, we're in front of the home crowd. We need to show up. That is actually sometimes pressure on the home team. A lot of times you think of it as pressure on the visiting team, but for the home squad, especially in the playoffs.
And here comes Matheny going 5 wide again, a little bit of trickery in the pre-snap. He's going to take it, drop back, steps up in the pocket, goes for Ski. Ski with a big catch downfield, and he's all the way down to about the 10-yard line. Aiden Ski calling his name, and he answers.
Oh, but they're going to call it back, a holding penalty.
And you jinxed it. Those penalties are not in Hallsville's favor this time.
I think that was Peyton Harlow, the one who got called for it. But they're not going to confirm that for me. But Peyton Harlow is walking off to the sideline right now to talk with Coach Stevens.
So this is going to move Hallsville back to about their own 40-yard line, about at the 39 it looks like, actually.
I mean, that was a beautiful throw and catch by Braden Matheny and Aiden Ski.
Hit him right in stride. You couldn't ask for a better throw than that.
Wish my quarterback in Madden can do that.
I think that's your problem. So Matheny with his typical 5 out. He's picked up right away, and he's taken down, sacked. Ball is out. Ball is out, and Winfield returns or recovers it.
Well, it looks like they're going to say that he actually wasn't down. I thought I saw the ball come out before he was officially on the ground, but maybe they called forward progress before Matheny was officially tackled. And it looks like that's what they're going to say. Now, I couldn't hear the whistle because, of course, we have our headsets on here, but...
Well, we can't hear the whistle, but I'll tell you what I can hear. I can hear this crowd, and they're not happy about the call, so not sure about that one, but they're going to call Matheny down, and so Hallsville gets another chance here on 2nd down. And this pressure is really getting to Matheny every single play. He's ready for the snap now. Pre-snap motion from Stinson, who cuts upfield. Matheny rolls out right. He's pressured again by 3 defenders running upfield. Chucks one deep to Stinson. Stinson hauls it in, and they're going to call it no catch. Isaac Stinson almost with an extremely difficult catch over 2 different Winfield defenders. He's down for a second, but it appears he's all good now. Looking for a flag on the play. He's not going to get one, unfortunately. Almost a beautiful throw and catch from Matheny and Stinson. Really, Matheny rolled all the way out. He was just a couple of feet away from being out of bounds, and he managed to get it downfield just over the head of 2 defensive backs, and perfect placement for Stinson. Just couldn't quite haul that one in. And we are sitting with about 10-15 left in the second quarter as the Indians still lead 12-0. 3rd down now. Pre-snap motion from Gabe Jenkins. Matheny throws left instead. He's going to hit Ski, who's cutting upfield down the sideline, and Ski breaks free. No one there to stop him. Cuts right, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. Aiden Ski, what a play. More than half the field. Now all 3 Hallsville receivers with a touchdown to start the game. What a play, Braden Matheny to Aiden Ski. 18-0 Indians.
Well, look, I'm going to praise Braden Matheny all that I can, but that was all Aiden Ski on that play. He made a touchdown from all the way back at the 40 in their own territory. It was a 67-yard receiving touchdown. Incredible running.
And you cannot let Ski get in that open field. It's too hard to stop him when he gets in space. And so it looks like a PAT attempt again here from Hallsville, unless, however, it's a fake.
Well, Matheny is the holder here, so if it was a fake.
It is not. And flag on the play. Field goal is good, but we'll see what this flag is. Thrown all the way from the right sideline.
It looks like a false start.
On Hallsville, so Hallsville's going to have a choice here if they're going to kick again.
Well, that hurts, but it was a good kick. I will say that much. A good job by Noakes to get that one up.
And that matters, the fact that you know that you have a guy who can make kicks if you need be. And it appears this time. Okay. Both teams are going to back up now.
Taking a little bit of time here to set this one up. So I would find a fake potentially happening here, although that is difficult to put on Braden Matheny
You want to call your shot?
back at the 15. No, I'm not going to call my shot here. It's not going to be a fake, right?
Yeah, I'll call it.
Oh, okay.
Braden Matheny,
It's going to be a PAT attempt.
back right end zone.
Ooh.
And just like I predicted, it was a PAT attempt. However, no good. And so it will remain 18-0 Hallsville. Still more than a 2-possession lead.
Well, that one a little more difficult of a kick, of course, being put back. You can't just put your foot out there. You've actually got to put some effort into it, and that makes it a lot more difficult to aim. And Noak's not able to put that one through. And still, though, I'll say it's a good start to the game for Hallsville.
Yeah, this is one of the better starts of their entire season. I mean, going 3 for 3 on opening drives, scoring a touchdown on each one, and shutting out your opponent. You can't ask for too much more than that, especially in a big setting playoff game.
Yeah, and a great job by the offense, just continuing. I mean, every drive they're going out there and they're going down and they're scoring. I mean, they are looking incredible right now, and the defense, of course, holding on to a shutout so far into the second quarter. I think that might be the most impressive part that we have seen from this team.
Yeah, and this defense has been one that we know all season is filled with talent and has the capability to play good. The numbers don't reflect just how good the defense has actually been. Kickoff now is going to be fielded by Winfield barely. A little bit of bobbling action going on around the 10. Cutting up field with blockers. He's going to be taken down right about the 22-yard line. So Winfield's going to have about 80 yards to go as there's 9:55 left in the second quarter. Flag on the play once again.
Well, I think this might be after the play. We'll see, but it's thrown down at around the 40-yard marker. Lots of flags in this game so far. Really slowing it down. It feels like this game is just drudged on so far.
And I wish we were keeping count, but I feel like we've already hit around 12 or 13 at this point.
Looks like it's against Winfield here. I think they had showed holding out there. So push them back almost half the distance to the goal line.
And so this is terrible field position for Winfield to start in. They've had issues stopping the blitz, and this could be safety territory.
It really could be, especially with the way that Hallsville has been pressuring them. I mean, you got to look for the possibility that Hallsville just blitzes them, all-out blitz. Now, I'm not saying that would necessarily be the right idea, but all-out blitz,
I mean,
might get you back in the end zone or close to it to another play.
I'm going to assume we see a run from the Warriors. They're a very run-heavy team in general.
Almost certainly.
I don't think you can afford risking a drop back into a safety here. And that is what they'll do. They'll run the ball right at the middle. Does not matter as he's wrapped up and brought down right around that line of scrimmage. We'll be looking at second and long for the Warriors.
Jack Wooden on that tackle is, well, he's been hoping to be a key part of that defensive side of the ball and on that defensive line. Really came around the edge clean there.
So Westhoff going to huddle up his guys once again. He's joined by Timmy Emmons in the backfield this time. And he'll drop back to throw. Westhoff hits his man on the sideline, who breaks a tackle and runs down. And he's got one guy to beat, and he does. He stiff arms, but he's brought out of bounds right around the 45-yard line in Hallsville territory. So big explosive play from Winfield to get them out of that dangerous safety territory, and now puts them in the spot that they've been struggling in all season, or all game, so far, to get kind of past this 30-40-yard line threshold. So they'll have another chance to do it here, but so far we're not looking like it's going to do much.
Well, it really looked defensively like Hallsville wasn't set. You saw Landon Cunningham right before the ball was snapped. He was over on the far side kind of talking with the corners, and he was still in motion heading back to his safety spot when the ball was snapped. And, of course, that is the side of the field that got torched where he was talking with the cornerbacks. So a little bit of maybe not being set and misalignment from Hallsville, and well, they've got to make sure that they're ready to go before this next play.
So Westhoff has his longest completion of the night by far now, with about a 50-yarder. And he'll be joined by Emmons in the backfield again. 4 receivers out wide. He'll roll out left, look deep for him. Emmons blocking, Doesn't quite matter. Pressure in his face. Almost intercepted by Hallsville, as Westhoff had a guy in his face being tackled as he chucked it. Really dangerous pass there from Westhoff right to the hands of a Hallsville defender.
Yeah, that was really good defense by DJ Barth who's on the offense, but he played good defense because otherwise that is a easy interception for Carter Giesler. He had a good chance to return that for 6 if he wasn't tackled out of the air by DJ Barth. A really good job by the senior wide receiver to kind of switch over and keep the possession in Winfield's hands.
Well, and he's also a safety, so, I mean, you know where that comes from.
Yeah, you do. Of course, he also has a few interceptions of his own. Well, 1 interception, I should say. He has 21 tackles on the season.
So, ball blown dead as we have a timeout now. So, the Warriors have it still around this midfield point. They're going to be looking at 2nd and 10. And what do you think they kind of go to? It feels like their run game has, I mean, neither part of their game has really been consistently working, but it feels like their run game has been more than their pass game. So what do you think they go to here on 2nd and long?
I was going to say the other way around. I think their pass game hasn't looked too bad out there. Of course, it was a rough play, and you might be worried that Westhoff is going to get in his mind. He threw the interception back on the first drive of the game, and then that one nearly picked off by Giesler. And right now you're kind of looking at it as, does he have the confidence to go out there? If he does, I think you might as well risk it because right now the run game, which they have been sticking to, has not been working. And you saw a pass play earlier in this drive, got you a 30-plus yard gain. That got you all the way down into Hallsville territory. It wasn't a run play that did that. It was a passing play. So if you're on the Winfield side, I think you got to look to maybe a play-action pass of sorts here. And, you know, can you work that up the field with the arm of Colin Westhoff?
We'll see what Westhoff and the crew has planned for this down right here. 2nd and long, about 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Indians still lead 18-0. Westhoff gets the snap, and he's going to hand it off to his running back, who's brought down right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard or 2 on the play, if that. But it'll set up 3rd and long no matter what.
Yeah, and they didn't end up going to the run, and well, now the play-action pass isn't going to work. Of course, Hallsville is probably expecting a passing play at this point. So for Winfield, I mean, 1, you pretty much have to pass it in this situation. And 2, Hallsville is going to be expecting the pass.
We'll see what he has to work with here, and he's going to throw a short right around the sticks, but make a man miss. Get pretty close to that first down line. He's going to be brought down around the 41. And that was number 13, DJ Barth, who made the fantastic play earlier in the set of downs to break up the interception. Catch of his own now.
There's still plenty of space to go until that first down, but again, it's kind of in that no man's land that you've been seeing all night long from Winfield. I mean, they haven't really been able to break out of this 35 to the 50. They almost always have kind of been in that territory and then stalled out.
And a stop here from Hallsville would just shoot the confidence of Winfield, who had some potential momentum. But Westhoff will take the snap here, and he's looking deep. He's going to throw one deep, and he's not going to have a man. Fantastic play by Lawson Burks to break that up. Had a man downfield, but Burks just jumped out, reached, got his arm right in there, prevented the catch from happening. And so turnover on downs. Hallsville will now have their 4th offensive drive of the game.
Well, it looked like Lawson Burks just ran that route for his receiver. I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing out there and perfectly matching the receiver behind him and staying in front of the ball, able to swat it out of the air. Now, he wasn't able to swat it down. When he dove, it actually bounced up out of his hand and nearly was still caught. Well, looks like we're changing our mind real quick as there was a flag on the play. It had been too long without a flag.
Yep, that's right. It's
that's
on pace for
on
about
us.
every other play we should have expected.
That's on us for not expecting it.
So it's going to remain Winfield ball, actually, so go ahead and just scratch out everything we just said for the last minute.
Still was good defense.
It was. So, snap taken. This is not Colin Westhoff anymore. Has his guy all the way down to the 20.
Yeah, that one, Connor Martin, who's back out there at the quarterback spot. Of course, he had the good start to the year earlier in the season, and
not too sure what prevented him from playing the rest of the year, but it looks like he's ready to go now as he's trotting back out on the field.
well, it looks like they want to switch up to a more passing-heavy game. Of course, earlier in the season, they made the decision to go with Westhoff. It fit the more run-heavy type offense, but Martin did a great job earlier in the season as part of the pass-heavy.
So Martin drops back, and he's got Keel, and Keel's going to barrel into the end zone for a touchdown. So immediately, Connor Martin comes in the game and throws a touchdown, and the offense looks different right away. Logan Keel barrels into the end zone, almost untouched. And we are now at a score of 18-6.
Or are we?
No, a penalty back. And the Warriors will be moving back once again.
Oh, man.
I spoke too soon. No touchdown, Connor Martin. No touchdown, Logan Keel. Crowd is pretty outraged.
Well, I mean, they had that entire team. I mean, they thought it was a touchdown, and rightfully so. I mean, that was way too free of defense on Hallsville. Their secondary just left Logan Keel completely unaccounted for.
I think we might just need to stop speaking until 30 seconds after the play.
I think so. Yeah, we're gonna be a delayed broadcast at this point.
So,
As
Connor
Internet
Martin
Explorer was
still
just
out on the
invented.
field, and he's dropping back. So pass-heavy offense now from Winfield. Connor Martin throws deep, way over Logan Keel's head. Not seeing a flag on the play quite yet. I'll give it a few seconds, but it's going to be an incomplete pass if no flag is thrown, which I believe there's not.
Well, the way you're searching for that flag, you might be Internet Explorer how long it's taken.
So 3rd and long for Winfield, and the same spot that, well, we were saying they were struggling, and then they had a few successful conversions. One called back by a penalty, one actually converted via penalty. So they're getting both sides of the ball.
Well, looking at Connor Martin on the season, I mean, he had a 52% completion percentage and passed for 700 yards with 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. It's a pretty good passer rating.
And he's going to keep passing as he's got his running back, Timmy Emmons, on the left side, who trucks a man and falls out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Great use of his shoulder there to pick up a few extra yards by Timmy Emmons. And it will bring up 4th down anyways.
It makes it manageable, however. Gives them a real shot at picking up this 1st down.
And as you were talking about, Connor Martin had really good offensive passing stats to start the year. I believe 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So I think about 700 yards. And now we're seeing they're going a lot more to the passing game than they were the running game. So it appears the statistics reflect their play style.
Well, it's been almost a month since he's appeared in a game. The last pass he threw against Orchard Farm back on October 4th. And now he's coming into a playoff setting.
It appears he stayed ready. And this certainly probably throws off the Hallsville defense in terms of what you're scouting for to have a random quarterback change in the middle of the playoffs.
Well, a timeout called here, and for obvious reasons, because you look at this drive for Winfield, and it's so important that they score to stay in this game. If you don't score here, I mean, you really put yourself at a spot that's near impossible to come back from, especially with the way Hallsville's offense has been looking, because the way that Hallsville's offense has been running up and down that field, you expect them to score. Especially if you're Winfield, you expect them to score. And so how do you combat that? You've got to score yourself. And the only way to do that is with this play right here. They have got to get the 1st down. So a huge play for them. It makes sense why they want to go into the huddle and make sure they've got their best play drawn up.
And so Connor Martin will lead them back out in the field. We've seen a little bit of everyone get the ball in terms of Emmons and Conrad on the ground. We've seen some DJ Barth action in terms of air game. And so for the Winfield Warriors, the biggest snap of the season so far is about to be taken. Pre-snap motion running right. Martin drops back, looks deep, has a guy, caught, touchdown, Connor Martin, deep end zone. What a catch from DJ Barth. call his name once again, and Winfield saves their season. No flag on the play. Crucial fourth down pickup and conversion for the Winfield Warriors.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. They needed every bit of that play. It gives them life.
And it looked very overthrown at first. I was hesitant to call it a touchdown, but that ball just stayed in the air for so long. He was able to let DJ Barth come out and get under it. PAT is up, and it is good. So successful PAT conversion for the Winfield Warriors, and the score is now 7-18. Hallsville Indians lead. First successful offensive drive for the Winfield Warriors, and we have a game.
Yes, we do. All of a sudden, really coming out of nowhere there, and whew, that was much needed from Winfield for their side, for their sake. But for Hallsville, they're going to have to figure out how to play some pass defense, because they, heading into this game, they were expecting to see a lot of run plays. They were expecting to see a lot of running that ball and powering it through as much as you can. And for Hallsville, they've faced a lot of that this season. It's an experience that they've gone through. What they haven't seen a lot of is a passing-type quarterback like Connor Martin. So making that switch right there is very interesting.
Yeah, Connor Martin has not been afraid to look deep and throw deep. And here's Dalvin Smith on the kickoff return. He is sandwiched right around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, sandwich like my cheeseburger. Is that a sandwich? Cheeseburger?
You know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say
No.
a burger is its own thing.
Okay, a burger is definitely a sandwich. Well, especially the burger that I just got from the concession stands, which I will say was a pretty good burger. Probably a 7 out of 10 here. If you're ever at Winfield, I recommend the burger from the concession stands. It's not quite as good as Eldon's that I had earlier in the year, but
Oh, you're gonna start a rivalry here. You gotta
Ooh.
watch your mouth, man.
start a rivalry between Eldon and Winfield for who's got the better cheeseburger.
Yeah, I heard concession stand beef is crazy.
Well, the concession stand beef that I got tasted pretty good.
I'm a fan of the burger and the hot dog here. Props to Winfield Concessions. Very delicious. Brady Matheny takes the snap, drops back, looks deep, has his man deep, caught, and I think it's going to be hauled in. Isaac Stinson with a big pickup. No catch. I spoke too soon once again. It appeared as if he had both feet down, but they're going to go ahead and blow it dead and move it back to second down for Hallsville.
Well, this is a game of I think it happened and then realizing it didn't. It feels like every play that's the case. You're never sure what happened on the play because what you see is not what actually happened.
I don't think I've ever felt more
More
dumb
lost?
watching a football game in my life. Honestly, I feel like I've never watched football before.
That was perfectly placed.
So Matheny this time looks a little bit shorter and has his man. Carter on the 50-yard line made a man miss. Solid pickup from Lawson Burks to move the sticks.
Yeah, almost 14 yards on that play and at midfield. And, well, wait, I think I see yellow.
Yep.
I see
Spoke
yellow.
too soon once again. You guys can go ahead and enjoy a silent broadcast for the rest of the night. I'm going to take it off. Austin's choice.
All right, well, I will.
Oh, wait. We spoke too soon about speaking too soon, maybe. Did they pick up?
Did we?
Yes.
I don't know. I think they might be adding this to the end of the
Oh, flag on Winfield.
Well,
Correct.
I have never seen that motion. Okay. Looks like a sideline warning there, so it's not It's not a flag on the play. It's a sideline warning there.
We spoke too soon about speaking too soon about speaking too soon.
Well, it was a flag. It was a flag. But you spoke too soon about bringing it back, so
Yeah.
I have been perfect.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Obviously no mistakes.
My fault. Yeah. You know who else doesn't make any mistakes? Braden Matheny.
So far, I hope you didn't just jinx that.
I didn't jinx him. My words don't mean that much clearly, guys. There's no shot I'm the one to jinx him. Pre-snap motion, hands it off to Wyatt Morris. Excuse me, Gabe Jenkins, who's brought down. Could not gain any yardage on the play. Bring up second and long for the Hallsville Indians. There's about 4:34 left, clock running now in the second quarter. as we're slowly approaching halftime, the Indians lead 18-7, and what's been a very successful offensive game for them so far, have yet to not score on an offensive drive, I believe, and have a chance to go 4 for 4 in the first half in terms of touchdowns to drives.
Yeah, well, it was a really long drive from Winfield. They had the ball with 10:01 to go in the second quarter and brought it all the way down to 5:44. Now Hallsville trying to have an extended drive themselves.
Matheny with Stinson in motion. He's going to roll out right and look right towards Stinson. He's going to throw it over instead. Hit Lawson Burks. And they're going to say no catch. It appeared he had both feet down, but maybe he bobbled the ball a little bit. So they're going to go ahead and wave that one off. No gain on the play for Burks and Matheny.
That is another beautifully placed throw by Braden Matheny. I mean, perfect spot, just like the one to Isaac Stinson. And the receiver just barely not able to get those feet down. And, I mean, by inches, he wasn't able to get those feet down.
Yeah, well, the threat of Stinson in the short field and then your fast receiver Ski and Jenkins out deep, it really opens up
everyone
the field.
else.
Yeah, it really opens up the field. Matheny looks deep. He's going to roll out left, use his legs, and he's going to be brought down anyways, but flag on the play.
Probably
we'll see
holding.
who it's on.
Yep.
So it will be holding, so Matheny sacked. Ball moves back no matter what here. And the penalty is accepted, so it looks like it's just going to bring up third and even longer.
Looks like they're declining the penalty. Well, the referee was just waving his hands across the sign of a... Yeah, so they decline it.
Okay.
Moves back just the yardage that was lost on the sack.
So this is definitely punt territory now for Braden Matheny.
Yeah.
I highly doubt we'll see it fake.
Well, he's been a pretty good punter this season.
He has, yes.
and really in his career.
There's a pretty good punt. It's going to fall back to about the 18, picked up and brought down right about the 15-yard line.
That is a great open field tackle by Aiden Ski to be able to bring him down. I mean, very difficult to do that whenever the returner is supposed to be agile, and you know that he is going to be and can easily make a juke move. That's impressive by Aiden Ski to stick with his target and bring him down, and especially for that kind of a punt and a loss. And
Ski is just really making his presence known on defense, special teams, and offense. A three-way player here, really.
Yeah, and it's proving to pay dividends right now, although got to play good on the pass game, it seems like.
So Winfield has about 3.5 minutes left to go, 85 yards for a touchdown. And that is brought down with a very short.
It looks like there's a flag on the backside of the play, right around the hashes on the far side of the field, in between the 20 and the 25.
Saw Wyatt Morris come up a little bit late on that play. Bit of a limp going on, but it looks like he's going to stay on the field.
Looks like, well, they just punched their fists together, which looks like maybe it's helmet-to-helmet contact that was initiated by the offense. So that might be a targeting call. We'll see if they change that, but that's the initial movements that I saw from the referees. So it's going to be, half the distance to the goal line.
And last time Winfield was in this situation, they had that explosive 50-yard play to bring them into Hallsville territory. This time could potentially see a Hallsville blitz to pick up that safety and regain possession of the ball, maybe get one more drive before the half ends. But this is dangerous territory nonetheless for Winfield.
Yeah, it is. And, well, they have been running that more pass-heavy offense since bringing in Connor Martin, so it does fit them a little bit better than their previously run-heavy game. We'll see if it ends up working.
So Connor Martin will take the snap just a few yards short of his own end zone. He'll drop back for a quick throw to the sideline. His man cuts upfield up to about the 25-yard line. Good pickup there from DJ Barth. Once again, DJ Barth been the go-to guy for tonight's game.
Yeah, he has, and maybe more impressive is that there weren't any flags on the play.
Flags have been telling the stories. The ref threw something out there, but it wasn't a flag. Just saw him throw a little white something off the field. I had to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah,
Gave me a scare.
usually a marker there, but it's about 50-50.
Martin ready for the snap as the clock is dwindling, so gonna have to move up. He's brought down. Not quite sure if he picked up the first or not. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, well, Connor Martin has proven all season long that he's willing to run the football. And, I mean, he's up there on carries despite not having played in these games since October 4th. Still a ton of carries for him. And, I mean, he's averaging close to 5 carries a game.
He's a true stat stuffer. Makes his presence known everywhere. And he's going to pump fake, roll out right, chased down by Hallsville, and he's going to be sacked, brought down around the 18-yard line. Amazing effort from the Hallsville defense. Jack Wooden there to make the play.
Well, an assisted tackle there as well from Aiden Ski, of course, because he came off and raced him down first. He made the initial hit, and it was Wooden that followed it up. I think they'll both get half a sack there.
Spread the love, why not?
Yeah. It's a team game.
So this will bring up 2nd and long for Connor Martin. Timmy Evans joining him in shotgun. And he'll throw short once again to DJ Barth. DJ Barth around the sticks has been the go-to guy, but this time brought down a gain of nothing. And 3rd and long approaching for Winfield.
Well, that's a screen pass right there that Gabe Jenkins was attempted to be blocked on, but Jenkins doing an amazing job immediately getting around his blocker and racing over to Barth to get the tackle. Again, another tough defensive play that looks easy but really is not.
So timeout called now. There's about 1:24 left in the first half. Indians still lead 18-7. And the Warriors, if they want to score here, barring a field goal attempt, they're still going to have to go a good 70, 80 yards if they want to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and, well, of course they want to get into the end zone, but right now it might be more likely that they try and go for a field goal attempt and just try and put themselves in a field goal range, which isn't too far away, but it is a little bit closer than the touchdown marker.
This rate, you probably just want to make sure you don't give the ball back to Hallsville, as we know Hallsville has potential for explosive plays. So if you're Winfield, you want to make sure you don't turn over on downs. I mean, of course, it's only 3rd down right now, but you still got a ways to go to pick up that first.
And if you're Winfield, I think you just got to keep passing that football because the passing plays haven't been too bad. It's been the penalties that have really cost Winfield, and that's why this team isn't further down the field.
And I hate to say it, but penalties have definitely been the story of tonight's game.
Oh, yeah.
So Martin takes a snap. Screen pass once again, this time to his running back, Timmy Emmons. Nothing there. Brought down and wrapped around. Loss on the play. Absolutely nothing. Hallsville defense shut down once again.
Yeah, and a good job there by Hallsville. I mean, it was a lot of trickery, but it did not mess with the Hallsville defense. They were able to figure out what was going on and stay in a good spot, not get caught out of their shoes, and were able to bring that one down. I mean, that is, again, a very good job for Hallsville.
So Hallsville is going to use their last timeout to stop the clock here. And so they'll have about a minute 15 left to go, I believe, to try and score one more time before this half ends once they return the punt, assuming no trickery or fake goes on the Winfield side. And it's definitely doable. Depending on how far this punt goes, Hallsville could be starting with about 50, 40 yards field position.
Well, I think even if you attempted a fake here and made the reception or something, whatever the play is, you got to get 20-plus yards on that play. Even if the play is successful, it's probably not getting the first down for you. So I think you can write off a trick play here on the punt attempt.
I don't know, man. Dan Campbell. And Campbell does it.
Dan Campbell would not fake a punt on 4th and 23.
You can't tell me what Dan Campbell wouldn't do, because I don't think there's anything he wouldn't.
Well, it's a good thing that's not Dan Campbell.
Never know. It could be in his ear. And it will be a traditional punt. Not going to go much of anywhere. Stop and roll down around the Hallsville 48-yard line. Lucky bounce. Crowd is complaining someone touched it. Not quite sure I saw that. And so Hallsville has 102 now to go for about 52 yards in the end zone, and less than that if they want to go ahead and kick. They've got an 11-point lead.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Hallsville is built to do. They are built for this short, quick offense. They know how to work the sidelines. They know how to use the clock well. This is what they've worked on the season. They've had several opportunities like this, and they usually succeed at it. I'm excited to see what they've got out here.
And it looks like Stinson is going to be one-on-one as long as Burks is able to draw away that safety help on the left side, so Matheny has a chance to go deep on the first play here. And he's looking left. He's going to roll out left. And he's going to go ahead and run it himself instead, go out of bounds. Smart play from Braden Matheny. Quick pickup about 5 yards in the play. Only burned about 10 seconds off the clock. Not too bad. Nothing there deep, so don't force it. Very smart play from Braden Matheny. There's that decision-making you were talking about that he's very much improved on in the second half of the season.
Yeah, not forcing anything. That's really key for them. And, well, for Hallsville, they're really hoping that it's going to let them use these situations to their fullest. And by not forcing anything, yes, you might not be getting the chance for a big play, but you have the real opportunity that you're going to stay on the field. You can get it back on the next play. Hallsville is just fine at getting it on a 4th and 5. If they stay right here, if they have back-to-back incompletions, they can still pretty easily get the 4th and 5. And that's why you make those smart plays like that. Just get the small yardage if you can, as long as you're keeping the clock.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering what this stoppage is about, it's because a shoe was thrown off and on the field. Not quite sure whose shoe. It was a Winfield Warrior, but a bit of questioning going on both sides right now.
Well, it looks like that might have been number 16 on their team, if I can, Kyle Moore, because he just came off the field. He might have to tie that shoe.
So the Warriors defense is going to have to go this play without Kyle Moore at this point due to a shoe being untied. Matheny takes a snap, rolls out right instead, looking deep. He's going to throw deep. Almost intercepted by the Warriors. Right in his hands, not quite sure how he dropped that one. Very dangerous throw from Braden Matheny.
Are they going to call that a catch?
If that's a catch, I'm not sure what the rules are.
Okay. Oh, man.
I was going to say I don't think I saw any sort of ball security on that. It was bobbling the whole time, and yeah.
Well, you could see DJ Barth, when he went down, he knew he didn't catch that. He put his hands on his head and said, oh, man, I should have caught that one. But now, of course, now that there's some questioning about it, he's going over there. He's like, yeah, I caught that. I caught that. Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah, so you can see him signaling out there. Oh, ref's telling him off now. He doesn't want to hear any more of it. Maybe don't give him that false hope.
Well, that was definitely a poor decision from Braden Matheny right there after we praise him about his decision-making abilities. But you are going to have mistakes here and there. And you do, but it's key to continue to limit those. That's probably the first time that you've seen a real chance at an interception all game long, or even a pass that wasn't relatively well placed.
And that's really impressive for how kind of risky this offense honestly is. Yes, it involves a lot of short throws around the sticks, but it's also very much based around deep shots getting you the ball. Matheny throws this time to Stinson, who drops it in what would have been a first down. Rare drop for Isaac Stinson, and this now will bring up 4th down. And this is kind of go-for-it territory. Not totally sure you could still punt. Be interesting to see what Coach Stevens has in mind here for his team.
Well, I think you want to go for this just for one, to make sure that you don't give the ball back to Winfield as well. I think if you give that back the ball to Winfield, at the 40-second mark, you feel, hey, they still have a shot with one timeout.
And you're right. Winfield appears almost called for a jump. They're not going to throw it. Matheny has an empty backfield this time. Stinson wide out left. Matheny throws right instead to Gabe Jenkins, who has no one left to stop him. Gabe Jenkins, have a night. 2 touchdowns on the day as he had no one near him within 10 yards. Wide open, Gabe Jenkins. No flag on the play, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, that is an official touchdown. And Hallsville leads 24-7 now with just about 37 seconds left in the second quarter. Fantastic patience from Matheny to look for Jenkins up the seam and hit him right in stride, allow him to finish that play out, run about 15 yards in the end zone.
Well, I think you're okay giving the ball back to Winfield now. Might not have burned the time off the clock, but you added 6 points, maybe more.
And Jack Wooden going to kick another PAT at this point.
I believe that's Hunter Noakes.
Excuse me, you're right, yes. And this one is good. So, score now 25-7, Hallsville.
And that the first PAT that has gone through for Hallsville this entire season. Hunter Noakes, the first PAT for the Indians, comes in the playoffs. They've attempted 3 PATs in this game, and of course, one of them did come from a few extra yards back after a penalty, but I'm sure Noakes will feel good about that.
And you got to wonder, are these PATs set up to try and make future teams take the bait on a potential Matheny fake? I'm kind of thinking so.
Potentially. Of course, they are up the 18 points right now, so I think you're feeling relatively good about the game, but...
Oh, yeah, not for this game. I mean in the future.
Yeah, but, well, I'm saying, are you messing around with it, or... I don't know.
Experimenting.
Are you confident enough in your team in winning this game that you're going to experiment with something like that? Or does he actually think that the PATs are the better option? That's a good question, but obviously not something that we'll get a straight answer from
yeah.
Coach Stevens. But
well, I'd hope he's confident enough. I don't think I'd want to go into any game not being confident. Kickoff for the Warriors. They'll return it. DJ Barth has a blocker. Cuts upfield weaving. Oh, breaks free. Flag on the play. DJ Barth goes out around the 35-yard line. Second flag on the play. Late hit. And there's a fight going on right now, having to shove his own man down.
Yeah, and Winfield not happy about something. There's going to be... So it looks like there was a face mask on the play. That's what I had seen, and that's going to be against Hallsville. But after the play, I believe there's going to be something against the Winfield sideline.
Well, it was either Barth got hit late or someone on the Winfield sideline
it's against
hit
Hallsville.
Yes, I believe Barth got hit late, but then the Winfield sideline had a problem with it, obviously.
Yes. Well, it's a good job by the team to kind of make sure that tempers died down. You could see a couple players pushing other players back within the Winfield sideline to make sure nobody got penalized. Of course, they were warned earlier in the game about that, so this one is a high-pressure game, so both of these teams are going to be on edge, and rightfully so, but you've got to make sure that you're playing safe, and you got to make sure that you're playing controlled football. Hallsville defensively on that play, yeah, that's a huge penalty, of course, going out of bounds at around the 40, and now the ball pushed about 20 yards up the field.
Well, yeah, it appears Winfield had a problem, almost wanted to fight there. Apologies to the viewers, looked like something might have slipped out there. It's a little bit of plumber's crack going on, but more arguing from the Winfield sideline. It appears it's just substitution issues at this point. That'll be Michael Elsenrath. Sneaks in the game last second before the snap. Connor Martin takes it, rolls out right. Emmons blocking for him. Martin keeps running, and he's brought down in the backfield, sacked once again. Beautiful play from the Hallsville defense to stop Martin from gaining anything.
And Aiden Ski again, another sack for him, and he has just been all in that backfield. 2.5 sacks in the game, at least from my count. He might even have more. I know for a fact he's got 2.5, though.
Man, on pace for 5 sacks as a coverage linebacker, that's scary.
I mean, he has just been incredible on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, that's got to be a tiring position. I don't know how he does that and play offense all game long. It is incredible what he does out there.
The two-way ability of these Hallsville players are really insane. Martin throws, has his man, going to be short of the first down. He's brought down around the 40-yard line. And clock stops with 12.9 left to go. So not quite in field goal territory yet, but you're not too far away from it if you're Winfield.
Well, that's the final timeout for Winfield, I believe, in this game or in this half.
And you're correct.
So they're not gonna have another one to go for, and basically you've got to go sideline to sideline. In this case, if you're Winfield, so that does limit your downfield ability. Really, I think the best
unless you
shot,
want to throw it to the end zone.
Yeah, the best shot you're gonna have at a field goal is probably gonna be, get it up to the 30-yard line and have a 47-yard field goal. That is a long field goal at the high school level, 47 yards. But if you trust your kicker, it's a possibility. I know, most athletes that have played soccer before can usually kick one, at least distance-wise, not necessarily accuracy-wise, can kick one about 40 yards. So that's a team with somebody that's just naturally played soccer, not necessarily kicker practice. They've got themselves a kicker out there. They could probably test one from 47 and would have a shot at it. Although, again, that would be very difficult to hit.
I mean, I'm assuming you run a play here and you probably just, I don't know. It's hard to tell if they're going to throw it deep or if they're going to try and pick up about 10 or 12 yards for a field goal here. Pre-snap motion out left. Martin drops, and he almost is sacked. Martin's going to take himself out the middle, and that is going to run out the clock, as I doubt they'll be able to snap it in time, and they won't. They're going to let the clock run out, and we are at halftime. Indians lead the Warriors 25-7, an amazing offensive output for Hallsville, scoring on every drive. Aiden Ski and Gabe Jenkins making big plays on the defensive side of the ball. And that will conclude our first half.
Yes, it will. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, but don't go anywhere. We, of course, have your halftime report coming up in just a couple minutes here on the Show Me Sports Network of our coverage of Hallsville Indians football on MSHSAA.TV.
Between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
Hello, Blake Gazaway here with the Show Me Sports Network. I've had the opportunity to have some amazing calls, including overtime touchdowns, walk-off home runs, and buzzer-beating baskets. But I've answered another call. That's to serve my community as a volunteer firefighter. Stop and think what would happen if your home or property caught fire and no one was there to put it out. Every day, volunteer firefighters not only save lives and property, but also respond to other emergencies. Nearly 2/3 of our nation's fire departments are manned by volunteer firefighters. And because of this, we simply need more volunteers to step up and answer the call. Stop by or contact your local fire department and see how you can become a volunteer firefighter today. I answered the call to serve my community. Will you?
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you, now more than ever.
The Southern Boone School District is hiring part-time bus drivers for route athletics and activities with no experience necessary. Our drivers enjoy flexible work hours, paid on-site CDL training, and paid time off, all while helping our community. The position offers competitive pay. Go visit sbschools.us/employment.
We need you.
Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls, or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we could teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Creating custom, handcrafted woodworking projects has never been easier. Become a member of Sawdust Studios and enjoy 24/7 access to a woodworker's paradise. Outfit with industry-leading professional-grade tools, Sawdust Studios offers endless woodworking possibilities. Don't have woodworking experience? No problem, as Sawdust Studios offers affordable classes from a community of woodworkers, experienced designers, and master craftsmen. Youth classes are also offered for those junior woodworkers. For more information, search Sawdust Studios on Facebook or find them online at sawdust247.com. Sawdust Studios, your community woodshop.
Running out of some of your favorite Avon products and haven't seen an Avon brochure in quite some time? No need to worry. Avon Independent Sales Representative Michelle Carty can help with your Skin So Soft makeup, jewelry, fragrance, and skincare needs. Avon now carries cleaning supplies, clothing, daily essentials, and several small LG electronic items. You now have the opportunity to shop online 24/7 and have your order shipped directly to your front door by shopping with Michelle at mcarty.avonrepresentative.com or find her on Facebook by searching Avon Carty.
Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you have answered yes to any of those questions, you are showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscientious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Are you in the market to buy your first home? Maybe it's time to buy some acreage. How about invest in a new space for your growing business? No matter the need, your trusted partner in real estate is me, Izzy Smith of Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Moon Realty. I believe real estate is more than just bricks and mortar. It's the cornerstone of our lives. It's where memories are made and dreams are realized. Choosing me as your realtor, you're getting a professional, dedicated advocate who will work tirelessly to make your real estate dreams a reality. Give me a call today at 573-876-2873 or visit izzysmithhomes.com. Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Moon Realty, your hometown realtor working harder for you.
In today's world, injury prevention is at the top of everyone's list. However, heat-related occurrences get routinely overlooked. Zealous WBGT puts that front and center. By using cutting-edge formulas and technology, Zealous WBGT streamlines and simplifies obtaining and documenting wet bulb globe temperature readings. With a simple touch of a button, you can check WBGT anywhere in the world, receiving alerts when the WBGT goes over the threshold you select. Join the stress-free way to protect student-athletes, employees, and overall operations from extreme heat by downloading the free Zealous WBGT app today. Save time, save money, save lives with Zealous WBGT.
Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are also vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Well, hello and welcome back into your Hallsville Indians coverage here on the Show Me Sports Network on MSHSAA.tv. I'm Austin Thomas, and I am joined by Killian Wright here in Winfield as Hallsville, of course, well, Hallsville is leading 25-7 at the half. They are looking really, really good right now, and well, everything really going their way, and it looks like they might be on the move to the second round, but of course still another half to play. Killian, what are your takeaways from this first half so far?
Well, the Hallsville offense has been clicking like no other. I mean, they've had strong offensive performances all year, but it's really been spread very equally. We've seen Ski get a touchdown. We've seen Jenkins get a touchdown very early on in the game. And then we saw Stinson get a touchdown. We've seen them score in all possible ways. I mean, the rack ability has been yak ability has been very good, especially from Ski and Jenkins in that open field. They've been really good at breaking free. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we've seen Ski make ridiculous plays in the backfield. I mean, he 2 or 2.5 sacks on the day so far, and it's only halftime. I mean, you don't see that from a coverage linebacker that much at all. He's just been able to get wherever he wants all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, Ski really disrupting things over there, and he looks really, really good out there defensively. And I'm excited to see what he has to prove on the second half of this game, just to see, can he keep this going? I think he can, but, well, it's going to be a question of consistency, and does Winfield make a change? I think that's a big thing to look at as well, because, of course, you look at Winfield, and right now they are down on the scoreboard, but they made a mid-game switch with having Martin check into the game. I mean, Martin checking into the game is kind of out of nowhere. He hadn't played since October 4th, and it had been all Colin Westhoff. And Westhoff started off this game on the field, and it looked like it was going to be him, but all of a sudden it wasn't working, so they made the switch to Connor Martin, and things started going right. When they were pushing that ball down the field and not just doing those check down passes that really didn't work. Hallsville was all over that, but when they were passing the ball down the field, they were finding open players, and they were doing a really good job of pushing that ball down the field and just continuing to work it time after time. Really, only so much that you can say about that team.
Yeah, I mean, Connor Martin brings a different element to their offense than unfortunately Colin Westhoff has provided throughout the season. We've seen Connor Martin really be a stat stuffer in the early part of the year, and then in this game he comes in, and on his first drive he throws a would-be touchdown to Logan Keel. Unfortunately, it gets called back for Connor Martin, but he backs it up by scoring on the next drive anyway. So Connor Martin kind of gives them an element of verticality and explosiveness that they're certainly going to need to come back from this deficit. They're down 3 possessions, I believe, if my math isn't terrible.
18 points is 3 possessions.
Okay, yes. So they're down 3 possessions, so this isn't going to be a slow game for them anymore. They're not going to be able to kind of ground and pound like they've been doing throughout most of the year. So the change of quarterback back to Connor Martin like they were in preseason is maybe what they need. Maybe reestablish that Martin-Keel connection, and then it looks like DJ Barth has kind of been the go-to guy tonight, though, however, honestly.
Well, Barth has been the leader in receptions on the team, despite him having only 200 receiving yards compared to the 300 of Logan Keel. There's a big difference in the yardage, but the reception totals are actually very similar, and it's got to do with the usage of both of them. You see Logan Keel a lot more on downfield, and just if he's open, you're going to get it to him. But you're gonna kind of force some things to DJ Barth. You're gonna throw him the screen passes, and screen passes at times get blown up, and so that's why the yardage is gonna look a little worse for DJ Barth, despite him getting a lot more of action in the game. And so from the Winfield side, do you think they should make a switch on the offensive side? Do you think that what you saw from the one drive of Connor Martin is enough from them offensively? Do you think they need to continue to make changes?
I mean, they certainly looked better with Connor Martin out there at quarterback. I'm not sure that you can still confidently say that, hey, we're good and we can just roll like this. I mean, I don't think screen passes are a bad option, and it's certainly like there's riskier passes you can throw if you're worried about turning the ball over, because, I mean, turning the ball over at this game is like, yes, it's very bad, but unfortunately you're probably going to have to make some risky throws down 3 possessions if you want to come back. I mean, you still have an entire half, but that's not like a lot of time that you can spend kind of fooling around. So I think you see a change, and you maybe see them go more aggressive over the middle of the field on maybe some sort of crossing and post routes to Logan Keel, or maybe you see DJ Barth instead of on some screen passes. If you want to give him the ball in short field and let him work, maybe you hit him in stride on the drag or on a very quick out or something. But I think you probably see Winfield go for more of a vertical offense.
Well, I'm really impressed with the way that Hallsville was able to defend the passing attack on that last drive, because, of course, they were preparing for the run-heavy offense, and that's what they got at the start of the game. They proved they could defend that. But what did Winfield do? They said, you know what? You can do that? Well, we can also throw the ball. And they went to that passing offense, and it started working. But Hallsville, after that first drive, was able to make the switch, and they started to play some really good defense against it. I'm excited to see how that's going to continue, but I'm also excited to see what are these changes going to be like at halftime, because I expect both of these teams to kind of come out of the locker rooms with a much different look at the game.
Yeah, and how the teams set the tone going into the fourth quarter is going to be crucial on both sides of the ball. I mean, if you're Winfield, you have to come out aggressive and with a sense of urgency. And if you're Hallsville, you almost have to come out with even more aggression and urgency. You don't want to seem like you're letting up and just playing prevent for the rest of the game. You want to kind of give them that sense that you're still out to get them. Just because you're up doesn't mean that it's your game and you're playing keep away. It means that it's your game and you still have to win it. It's not your game to lose. It's still your game to win.
Well, looking back at this first half, in case you missed it and how all the scoring went, it was Gabe Jenkins who opened up the scoring. He scored a 4-yard receiving touchdown off the pass from Braden Matheny, and that was after the interception which he had just the drive prior, the first drive of the game from Winfield. Jenkins picked it off. He returned it quite a bit, and then he got the 4-yard receiving touchdown on the offensive end. Hallsville scored again on their second drive of the game, a 16-yard receiving touchdown for Isaac Stinson, who keeps on scoring. He can't be stopped. And then the third touchdown of the game went to a third receiver. It was Aiden Ski, a 67-yard receiving touchdown where he went up the left sideline and just juked his way up and out of the house and into the end zone. A great job from him. And then, well, that was followed up as DJ Barth had a 25-yard receiving touchdown after Connor Martin came into the game. There was 5:44 left in the second quarter. Made it an 18-7 game, still a 2-score game, and, well, all of a sudden Winfield was back in it. But near the end of that first half, 37 seconds left on the clock, and Gabe Jenkins, a 46-yard receiving touchdown, made it 25-7 after the PAT was good from Hunter Noakes for the first PAT of the season from Hallsville. Any last thoughts on the halftime show here, Killian?
No, I mean, I think we've kind of recapped it all. I mean, it just really, like we said, it matters the intensity that Hallsville comes out with. Make sure they don't let their foot off the gas here. Come out guns blazing, ready to – and they'll get the ball, actually, to start the second half. If you remember, they had that really early interception from Gabe Jenkins. So they're actually going to get the ball while being up by over 3 possessions. So they could really come out and shut down Winfield's hopes right away by scoring another touchdown.
Well, looking at the games from around the area, one, of course, that matters is within the district. Fulton at Moberly. It is a 49-6 Moberly lead at the half. The Spartans looking really, really good, and Fulton trailing big time, and it looks like they might not be able to make what would be an incredible comeback in that game. I'm going to see if I can find the Wright City against Duquesne score, and those two teams are the other game within the district. St. Charles West had the bye. That is who the winner of this game will be taking on. So for Hallsville, they're looking to be traveling to St. Charles West next week for the district semifinals. We'll see if they can get that down. But as for the other games going on around here, I'm going to see if I can pull up a live score. I don't have an update on that game, unfortunately. From what I'm seeing right now, no updates on the game until we just got it. Okay, yes, there we go. So at the halftime, it was 28-0. Wright City led over Duquesne. Of course, Wright City, the 2nd seed, Duquesne, the 7th seed. So those two teams are looking like they are going to go to chalk, whereas in this game, of course, the team that is lower seeded is actually in the lead at halftime. It's 25-7. Hallsville leads. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. When we come back in just about 5 minutes, we're going to have the second half of coverage for you here on the Show Me Sports Network on MSHSAA TV.
The following public service announcement is brought to you by the Eddie Gaedel Society, Jefferson City Chapter 10, doing little things to make a big difference.
Want to make a big difference in your community? Be kind to others, drive safely, and put litter in its proper place.
Join us in celebrating Eddie Gaedel's historic Major League appearance as a member of the St. Louis Browns by doing something nice for someone today.
Take a walk, Eddie! Boone County Journal is the hometown newspaper of Ashland and Hartsburg since 1969. We know you're busy. Let us keep up with Southern Boone happenings for you. We cover social events, school sports, local government, Southern Boone history, obituaries, and more. Subscribe to the Journal today and get the paper delivered to your mailbox every Wednesday. Digital version also available. Call 573-657-2334 or visit bocojo.com. Independent and veteran owned.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
At the Tin Roof Monogram and Gift, we know a gift is more than a box or a bag with a pretty bow. A gift is the lifetime of love that you share. It's friends who grow as close as family. It's moments and milestones, both big and small. Whether receiving or giving, a gift brings joy and happiness. That's why, since 2018, we've made it easier to gift for those you love. Stop by the Tin Roof Monogram and Gift at 108 Corporate Lake Drive in Columbia or call 573-443-4438. Let us help you find that perfect gift for every occasion.
Last Sentinel Firearms is your federally licensed and registered Type 7 FFL manufacturer dealer in Missouri, providing quality products to all types of sports enthusiasts, law enforcement, and individuals across the nation. Orders are currently being fulfilled, offering custom-built pistols and rifles from the AR platform made right here in Missouri. Visit their website at lastsentinelfirearms.com or call them at 417-684-7202 to find out what they've got for you. Last Sentinel Firearms, you are your last line of defense.
Seeking to express your unique style? How about healthier, clear skin? Look no further than Mary Kay. For more than 60 years, Mary Kay has been offering a wide range of high-quality makeup and skincare products that empower you to shine and stand out in any setting. From luscious lipsticks to vibrant eyeshadows, flawless foundations to glowing highlights, moisturizing serum to blemish and acne regimens, Mary Kay's got you covered. If you don't have a Mary Kay beauty consultant, then I've got you covered. To get your best skin, call me, Cassandra Gazway, today at 417-684-2667 or visit online at marykay.com/Cassandra Gazway.
At Hallsville School District, our educators do more than just teach. Lives are being shaped for the future before they even enter a classroom. For students to succeed, it takes an entire district-wide team. Join Hallsville School District's team today, now offering competitive salaries and benefits for all positions. Visit hallsville.org and click on the employment link under Our District tab.
Since 2018, Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC has been specializing in all things custom, using large format, high-powered lasers with some of the most advanced technologies on the market. Anything can become a canvas. This state-of-the-art system makes quick work of custom engraving on cups, glass, tile, wood, acrylic, metal, headstones with endless possibilities. They also offer custom one-of-a-kind signs that are sure to make your design stand out. Find them on Facebook at Han Custom Laser Engraving or call 573-489-8732 to find out more. Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC, a veteran-owned business.
Hi, I'm retired Army Sergeant Trent Dirks, and I want to tell you about an organization that saved and changed my life forever. Retrieving Freedom provides highly trained service dogs to veterans with disabilities and children with autism, absolutely free of charge, thanks to the generous donations and support from people just like you. Experts from Retrieving Freedom help throughout the entire process, from fostering programs through service dog placement. Retrieving Freedom gave me the skilled service dog tracer, who has been my best friend and my lifeline. To find out more about how you can get involved, volunteer, foster, or to donate, visit their website, retrievingfreedom.org. Retrieving Freedom, changing lives through the training and placement of service dogs for veterans with disabilities and children with autism.
There's no better way to celebrate a special event or show someone just how important they are to you than gifting them something handcrafted from Country with a Heart. Handmade in mid-Missouri, Country with a Heart specializes in hand-built woodworking projects for every occasion. Their design collection includes children's furniture, doll furniture, household items, holiday decor, outdoor decorations, custom projects, and everything in between. To view their full inventory of projects, visit countrywithaheart.com and find them on Facebook by joining the Country with a Heart group page.
Hello and welcome back into your Hallsville Indians coverage here on the Show Me Sports Network on Misha TV. I'm Austin Thomas, joined once again by Killian Wright as the second half is just about underway. Hallsville leading 25-7, and things are going very, very well for Hallsville right now. Absolutely nothing that they can complain about, and they're hoping to get this second half started off right with their second half kickoff presented by Izzy Smith Homes Remax Boone Realty. That is coming up in just about a minute and a half. And Killian, why don't you give us your thoughts real quick about what to expect here in the second half and what you're looking on this first drive for Hallsville, who will be returning to start the half.
Well, right now we're looking at arguably the best version of the Hallsville team that we've seen all year, on pace for their highest scoring output and their lowest defensive points allowed output. So I'd imagine we probably don't see too much of a change from Hallsville. I mean, yes, theoretically, if you're up, you could start to try and slow the game down, but that's just not really this Hallsville offense's team. I mean, I think they're going to keep doing what's working. You're going to hit Stinson in the sideline on those short 8-yard passes. You're going to hit Jenkins on those crossing routes, and then you're going to look for Ski in those the yak situations. Let him kind of make guys miss and create some space in his let him cook offense for Aiden Ski, and then eventually you'll have a 20, 30-yard pass downfield from Jenkins, Ski, or Stinson, all three capable of being valid deep threats. So, I mean, I think we know what we're going to see from the Hallsville offense. It's what we've been seeing the entire first half. I don't see any reason for change.
All right, well, the second half kickoff coming up in just about 30 seconds. Second half kickoff presented by Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Boone Realty.
Attention Indians fans, here's your chance to help the student athletes of Hallsville by becoming a member of the Hallsville Athletic Boosters. Your gifts help provide all Hallsville athletes with a safe and positive experience while attending our school district, and also help purchase items that our sports team couldn't otherwise afford. You can join the Hallsville Athletic Boosters this season for as little as $25. Membership is open to everyone. Interested in joining? Look them up on Facebook by searching Hallsville Athletic Boosters, or email them at hallsvilleathleticboosters@gmail.com. Let's go Indians!
Are you in the market to buy your first home? Maybe it's time to buy some acreage. How about invest in a new space for your growing business? No matter the need, your trusted partner in real estate is me, Izzy Smith of Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Boone Realty. I believe real estate is more than just bricks and mortar. It's the cornerstone of our lives. It's where memories are made and dreams are realized. Choosing me as your realtor, you're getting a professional, dedicated advocate who will work tirelessly to make your real estate dreams a reality. Give me a call today at 573-876-2873 or visit izzysmithhomes.com. Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Boone Realty, your hometown realtor working harder for you.
And now it's time for that second half kickoff presented by Izzy Smith Homes, Remax Boone Realty. Killian, take us away.
We're going to go ahead and see the Winfield Warriors kick off to Hallsville as Hallsville will start the second half with the ball. You may forget, they didn't actually start the first half with the ball. They just got a very early interception that led to a score. So great chance right here for Hallsville to capitalize, kind of in retrospect, on that early game play from Gabe Jenkins for the interception. Ball already stopped before the kickoff, for the opening kickoff of the second half. Already got some stoppage of play issues. No flag, don't worry.
Well, that's a quick way to stop the game.
This time kicked off and fielded by Hallsville. Here's Gabe Jenkins moving up the field, down the sideline. Really good pickup. Flag on the play. Jenkins is down at the 50, but there's a flag down right at about the 20-yard line and another one at the 33.
Well, that's not good. I thought it might have been a potential horse collar tackle, but it looks like that's not the case. There was no flag thrown at the end of the play. It was only earlier in the play.
And it is on Hallsville.
Yeah, it looks like a holding penalty against them. That's going to hurt what was ultimately a good return, but to be fair, maybe in part because of the holding there and Jenkins moving through some tight gaps, so probably a penalty that actually did cause him to get further up the field.
So this will take Hallsville from starting at about the 48 to starting right around the 28. We're going to see Stinson and Ski out left. Matheny alone in the backfield. 3 receivers outright. Matheny drops back. Hits Stinson in motion. Brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Not too much gained or lost there.
Brought down by Dominic Yole.
Second down and long for the Indians.
Correction, Kyle Moore.
Tackle was made by Kyle Moore on the play. The player who, I believe, lost his shoe earlier in the game. Looks like he's got it tied now.
I did confirm that was him. I saw him off on the sideline. He was messing with his shoe once he came back off.
Yeah, well, glad he learned to tie it. Matheny in shotgun. Drops back, looks right, hits his man, but he's dropped. Could not quite haul in the catch. Aiden Ski had to dive for it, had both hands on it, couldn't bring it in, however.
Well, his move had Timmy Emmons on the ground. He juked on the out route, and Timmy Emmons just fell over, but it was just out of reach on Aiden Ski. Maybe a bit harder of a juke move than Ski normally hits in practice, and that might be what the slight difference is on that throw versus where it ended up.
Too good of a juke for his own good.
He took a little too much time on it.
Stinson one-on-one on the far left side. He'll run in instead. Matheny deep. He's looking for Stinson. Way overthrown, intercepted. Picked off, and it's down to the 30. Still on his feet, running to the end zone. Brought down around the 9-yard line. Multiple flags on the play, however, both during the return and I believed one thrown as Matheny threw the ball. We'll wait to see what the call is.
Well, that would be Bo Schulte's third interception of the season, which leads the team, but he still does lead the team in interceptions with 2. The question is, does he get his third? It looks like the referees are deliberating whether or not Winfield wants to accept or decline. So we're still waiting on the call here, and let's see. Looks like Hallsville had an illegal man downfield penalty that was declined, and a holding against Winfield that was accepted, but that was after the return, during the return. So put him back 15 yards from the spot of that foul during the return. It, I believe, is a first down for Winfield. But push them back to a 1st and 10 from the 40.
So nevertheless, the interception counts for Schultz. And that'll make his third on the season, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And so Matheny's first pick of the game, and what has otherwise been a very clean game for the Hallsville offense. The Winfield Warriors will open this drive with one of the better field positions they've had all game. Could have been a little better if they didn't have that penalty, but they're going to start it just past midfield in this territory that they've struggled time in and time out. There's about 10:52 left in the third quarter as the Indians lead 25-7.
I think that referee translation that I just provided there was Emmy-worthy.
Genius. So Connor Martin does come back out here for the second half, so any worries about that is shot down, as we're going to appears to see Connor Martin for the rest of the game. He's going to pitch this one. Fake play, deep ball, and it's dropped. Great play by Landon Cunningham to break that up. The sophomore defensive back caught up to the ball on what was kind of lofted up as an underthrow and made a play on it to save a touchdown.
Well, I don't think he was expecting to get as good of a hand on that ball as he did, because the way that he jumped, it seemed like he could have gotten an interception if he was going with 2 hands, but instead his focus was just to bat it away, and ultimately that is what ended up working out for him.
Well, and fake plays are something that we've seen Winfield do throughout the season. They've ran about 3 of them. They're not afraid to try it. And Martin hits Keel on the crosser, who picks up about 20 yards for the first down. Logan Keel, go-to guy. Flag on the play again. After the play, though, it appears.
Well, the flag was thrown after the play, but the question is, did it really take place after the play? Might have just been a late flag. We'll see, but the linesmen are bringing the first down marker back. So, yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct goes against Winfield. Another unsportsmanlike. That's the third unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that we have seen this game. Both teams, of course, are amped up for this.
And the Winfield sideline is not happy about it whatsoever.
Well, you look at Winfield, in that high school, their last playoff win was 2018. None of these players were in high school, let alone middle school, the last time Winfield won a playoff game. So they really want to win one. Okay, my math was off. They would have been in 7th grade, I think. Some of the seniors. The seniors would have been in 7th grade if I got my math right there. But nonetheless, it has been so long since this school has seen a playoff victory. They want it so bad, and it's understandable why the tension would be so high at this game. But again, you've got to control it because otherwise you're going to get penalties like that, which just took back a huge play. Was a 16-yard play, ended up being a 1-yard play.
That's back-to-back plays that resulted in them gaining a bunch of yards and called back by penalties. First, the interception from Schultz, and then the catch from Keel, both called back for about the penalties brought them back a grand total of about 40 yards. So Martin's going to pitch. This time he's just going to run it up instead. And another flag on the play as Emmons was brought down early.
And this one's going to be holding against Winfield again. And Jack Wooden trying to get around. You could kind of see that one. That one was a little clearer to the normal fan. You could see Jack Wooden kind of trying to come around the edge. He was held, not able to get to the running back on that play. And makes sense why they would call it. But, man, these penalties, I thought they might die down a little bit in the second half. You know, you get your team a little bit of time to calm down, get ready, and get in the right mental state, but it seems like it's done the opposite effect.
Yeah, clearly not. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are just 10.5 minutes through this third quarter. We've really been in the third quarter much longer than that, but the clock is stopping due to these penalties.
Yeah, we might not be getting back until 1 a.m.
Not looking good. Ball comes out. Hallsville pounces on it. And they have it. That's Hallsville ball. Popped free on the run. Aiden Ski looks like he's the one to come up for it. Have a night, Aiden Ski. And there's a flag on the play once again. Flag after the play. Thrown near the 40-yard line. And what could this possibly be?
Well, we're going to have to see what this is.
It looks like Ski might have been taunting. That's my best guess. That was a very late flag if it was for something that occurred during the play. Very late if it was.
Well, if that is taunting on Aiden Ski, I don't know. No, it's not. It's going to be on Winfield here. No, it is against Hallsville. An unsportsmanlike. Is that against Ski? If that's against Ski, that is crazy to me because
I believe so.
Ski got up and he ran away with the ball, but he was turned around and looking for a referee to throw it to, and it was on the throw that I saw the flag thrown when he tossed it back to the referee.
Then my only guess is since we didn't see anything physically, it must have been something verbally is my only guess.
Must have been. Unless, oh man, there was a baseball catcher that was ejected one time in the MLB recently because he pulled his glove down too quickly when he was asking for a ball. I don't know if you've seen that clip before.
No, I haven't.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
I'll tell you what I do remember. I do remember J.J. Reddick getting that technical for rolling the ball back to the referee. That seems like maybe a similar situation to what just happened to Ski.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure why play hasn't resumed yet.
To be fair, though, again, these referees know what kind of game this is. They know it's playoffs, and they have proven that they are going to throw flags. So it's not something that Hallsville couldn't have been ready for.
Yes, at this point in the game, you're halfway through. You probably need to expect it from both sides. Matheny throws right back to Ski, who goes down the sideline, and Ski broke free. Got a first down. Great cutback by Aiden Ski. Falls forward for about a gain of 12. Moves the sticks, and Ski redeems himself after that penalty to get him almost right back to where he started at.
Well, you know what it also kind of reminds me of is this play by the Florida baseball team. One of their players got ejected after hitting a home run, and then the next player hit a home run himself, and he trotted around the base paths with his head face down and just was walking in a stern face. It was hilarious to the average viewer.
No room for emotion in our game.
His name was Jack Caglione, if you want to look it up.
Matheny rolling out right, has Stinson down the sideline, picks up about 6 or 7 on the play. Beautiful loft there from Matheny, just over the pressure in his face. Had a hand up there. Hard to get it over that, and kind of just lofted it, snuck it right in.
Yeah, really good play, and that's what the Braden Matheny to Isaac Stinson connection usually looks like. Not the one that we saw at the end of last drive that resulted in the interception.
Correct, yes. That is not your typical Stinson Matheny play.
That one a lot more like it. Of course, those two have been making plays for years at this point. Back on an earlier broadcast during the pregame show, we talked about the first game that Braden Matheny got into.
Matheny hands this off to Wyatt Morris for what I believe is the first rush of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So Wyatt Morris gets real close to that first down line. I don't think he quite picks up the first down, but it's going to bring up 3rd and about 2 from what I can tell.
Yeah, not too bad there, and you get, half the distance towards that first down. That you're okay with that. All you got to do is basically do that one more time, and boom, first down. But honestly, this might be 4-down territory. If you want to take a shot here, maybe the defense won't be expecting it.
Read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, you can basically just treat this like it's 2nd and short if you're approaching it as 4-down territory. So Matheny in shotgun. Has Stinson by himself out right. He's going to pitch this one to Wyatt Morris, who cuts upfield and I believe dives for that first down. Refs are going to spot him right on that line. I think he picked it up by just a couple inches, though.
We'll see where they spot it. They might have to bring out the chains for this one.
It's real close. Either way, Hallsville's only going to have a couple inches to go if they did not pick it up. And they're going to motion first down anyways.
So no need to bring out the chains.
Wyatt Morris, back-to-back carries for his first 2 touches of the game, come with about 8:47 remaining in the third quarter. Was ready for it when he got it, though.
Yeah, really good job there. And, well, Hallsville's just got to make sure they keep pushing down the field here. And, hey, if the running game can get Winfield off their feet and get them out of position, that's a good spot to be running the ball.
And it's nice to see Wyatt Morris rewarded for all his work because he really doesn't show up on the stat sheet what he does. Matheny fakes the handoff to Ski, actually gives it to him. Ski stops right around the line of scrimmage. Could not quite make anything out of that. But that's a typical work that we see Ski get. I believe his first handoff of the night, though, and couldn't make much of it work. But as I was saying with Wyatt Morris is so much of the team in terms of his backfield blocking. He's kind of that last line of defense for Matheny who loves to have that extended time to throw the ball and kind of make something out of nothing. And it's good to see Wyatt Morris get involved in actually touching the ball sometimes.
Yeah, well, he actually had a pretty good game last week against California. I think it was a season high in rushing yards. And
Matheny looks left, has Stinson, who makes the low catch around the 41-yard line, brought down by 2 Warriors on the Warriors sideline.
Yeah, a bit of a shoelace grab right there from Isaac Stinson, and he was slow to get up.
And Ski comes over to help him up, and Stinson is down and limping, and this is not a sight you want to see if you're Hallsville. And
Isaac Stinson's a competitor, and he's going to jog off the field himself, clearly with a limp though, and hopefully he'll be able to come back out here, and that is a big piece to be missing from Hallsville. And Isaac Stinson, this time actually Isaac Stinson.
And yeah, this is something that we've seen the last few weeks is Isaac Stinson getting banged up in the second half of games just due to the pure physicality he plays with, kind of that wear and tear just kind of goes on him. And now Dalvin Smith will sub in for him, the running back, but it plays a lot of his time at slot receiver. So he'll line up out wide now, and he'll be bracketed by 2 defenders. Matheny rolls out right, and he's looking deep. He's going to throw and can't quite make the connection to Lawson Burks, who's hit and helped up by the defender. But incomplete pass on the play, and that's going to bring up fourth down for Hallsville and what you would think is maybe go for it territory.
Well, potentially, but a lot of that also might be put on if Isaac Stinson is out on the field or not, and he is not right now. And, a lot of the times he's going to be that go-to guy, and if you don't have him on the field, that is going to make your chances a lot worse. And he is not out there. So something to watch for as Hallsville looks to convert this.
And yes, Hallsville will be going for it here on fourth down. Matheny drops back, throws right, has his man, cannot quite haul it in. Was Lawson Burks once again. Good effort on the play, hit him in the hands as he dove. Incomplete, however. And the Warriors will take over the ball. For their first drive of the game. 7:33 remaining in the third quarter, and if you're the Warriors, you probably have to score in every drive to end this game now. You're down 25-7. There's a sense of urgency they're going to have to start playing with.
Well, if every drive takes as long as those first couple of drives, I think you'll have a lead of 20 points if they scored on every drive. Those first two drives, very short from both teams. I think there might be a lot more time than we're accounting for now.
We'll see what Connor Martin has in mind here. And he'll hit Keel in the short route. Keel will pick up about 5 yards on the play.
Well, that's the difference between that play and a lot of the screen passes that we saw in the past, is those screen passes were 5 yards behind the line. That play was right at the line of scrimmage, which allowed him, of course, to get those 5 yards, but the 5 yards didn't come from a -5 and ultimately result in 0. That came from the 0 and got you the gain of 5.
Agreed, yes. Those screen passes were resulting in too many negative plays for the Warriors in that first half, and like we mentioned at halftime, maybe working on those drags or over-the-middle routes instead of those screen passes. It seems to be working based off the first play. And there's Timmy Emmons running upfield, and he'll pick up the first down for about a gain of 6 and a new set of downs for the Warriors. Solid run there from Timmy Evans to kind of blow through that contact.
Well, that's a really good run from Winfield. And, of course, they have been a good running offense, but they made the quarterback switch. They got back out there Connor Martin in place of Colin Westhoff. Westhoff usually ran that run-heavy offense, and they liked having him out there for the versatility that he was able to bring to that run game.
Yes, and I believe it's important that while you have Connor Martin for this passing offense, you still have the run game when you need it. And I think they're recognizing that, as they're going to go ahead and pick up another first down. This time it's Warren Conrad, the senior running back. So switching it up a little bit, both running backs feasting here in the third quarter. And the Warriors' offense is moving at a pretty good rate right now.
Yeah, they are, and really nice to see that for the Winfield side of things. But for Hallsville right now, you just got to get back out there and play your type of your game. It was working in that first half, and yeah, this isn't quite the same team that you've been facing, but you know what you're capable of. Work off of your strengths right now.
Here's Martin in the play action. Rolls out right, hits Keel in the flat. He's going to stiff arm and then hurdle, somersault. Dangerous land there for Logan Keel, but man, is he willing to put his body on the line. A little bit of post-play fighting from him and Ski, but intense game, emotions running high. What a fabulous play from Logan Keel there.
Yeah, dangerous play, and Eli Washam. That is great tackle by him, and a difficult one to stay grounded for one, but also to recognize the defenders trying to make a move on you, and one that's pretty rare to see.
Martin takes a snap, drops back, looks deep, overthrows, flag in the backfield. Probably a holding flag, but we'll wait to see. Incomplete pass. He was trying to hit Keel once again. Wasn't quite anything there, so he was pretty covered.
Yeah, and the holding is really going to hurt Winfield and their opportunities. Takes a lot of wind out of their sails. It seemed like, based on the way that offense was moving, it seemed like they were going to score a touchdown. It really did. I thought, man, that team is going to score, and they're going to make this one a 2-score game again.
It was very consistent pickups of 10, 15 yards
Well,
back to back.
The thing is if you can keep doing that, it's still, it's 20 yards, but if you get a 10-yard gain and then another 10-yard gain, boom, it's first down. You didn't even have to take a fourth.
Yeah. Pass there complete down to about the 25-yard line. Connor Martin hit his man in stride over the middle of the field.
Yeah, DJ Barth on that reception, and you look at the team, and that's exactly what I said right there. You get one 10-yard reception and another. Well, that was one 10-yard reception. Now they just got to do that one more time, and they've got that first down again. So you're right. Back there, it doesn't fully take you out of the game, that penalty, but it just hurts your odds of getting the first.
Simple as that. They should just gain yardage on every play, and then it'd be moving. Joking, obviously.
Well, it looks like they're having some problems with the scoreboard. I could have sworn it was third down. But both of the chain gang is saying it's second down, and the scoreboard was put to second down, and now they've changed it back to third down.
So once again, play stopped. Confusion on both sidelines, it seems like.
We'll see. I believe that they actually did move the down on the holding call earlier. When they called holding, I think they moved it to 2nd and 20 rather than 1st and 20. So that might be the confusion there. So they did fix it now.
And Martin rolls out. He's fumble in the backfield, and it's picked up by Hallsville. Hallsville lands on it. That is 100% going to be Hallsville ball, barring any flags. Fantastic play from the defense. Multiple members with an effort get a hand on Connor Martin and then force him to fumble as he's throwing. And that'll be Hallsville ball. Once again, the Warriors come up short right around that 40, 30-yard line. They just cannot quite seem to finish these drives.
Man, but the pressure right there from Hallsville to be able to create that and to come from kind of nowhere. They always have a second guy right behind the first if that first guy is getting pressure. I mean, that's what we've seen time and time again. If the first guy doesn't get the sack, the second guy will. And in that case, he ended up creating the fumble as well.
Yes, Hallsville always working as a unit. I feel like these defenders are constantly in sync. It's like they're a hive mind. They're always moving like they're tied to a string together. It's crazy.
They're Justin Timberlake in the early 2000s. They're in sync.
Okay. Probably don't want to be Justin Timberlake in 2024 though, for other reasons. Braden Matheny going to hand off the Ski in motion, who cuts inside this time. Flag thrown on the play. Ski picks up about 3 or 4 yards, but we'll see if this gets called back. And it will. Penalty on Hallsville. So negate that Ski rush, and we're going to have 1st and long.
Yeah, and oh man, this is tough to watch. Man, the game keeps getting stopped, but these two teams just both right now, they've got to play cleaner. You know, they say every play could be called holding, and well, I think we're really seeing that today.
Yeah.
They probably told the refs, hey, you guys got to be cracking down on what are penalties, and well, they are penalties.
Yeah.
That's the thing is they're calling the penalties out there. I wouldn't say what the refs have been calling have been bad. They have been extra cognizant of it, and these two teams right now, they haven't been able to adjust.
Matheny going to hit Jenkins in the short route, who's brought down immediately. Fantastic wrap leg tackle, and that's going to be a gain of nothing. So Hallsville going to have 2nd and long now.
Yeah, 2nd and a mile.
It just feels like these drives are just consistently just no gain, loss of yards, penalty on one side. That either moves it back or resets the down. Penalty, move forward, new set of downs. It feels like that's just what we're seeing all game.
That seems like big play, take it back because of the penalty.
Yeah.
Then the rest of what you said.
It's a long, complicated cycle. So Matheny is going to have Morris back there in the backfield blocking for him. 4 receivers out wide, 2 on each side. He'll hit Jenkins over the middle, who gets about 8 yards on the play, and he'll set up 3rd and probably about 12.
Well, again, it's basically what I said with Winfield. You know, yeah, it's 3rd and 20, but You get 10 yards, boom, you're halfway there. You get another 10 yards, boom, first down. Well, in this case, 10 yards would make it 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, so you'd still have to go for it, but that's still doable and probably a spot where you would go for it on 4th down, or you could just get the extra yard on this play.
Yeah, you know what? I think teams should probably just get 10 yards every single play, and they'd probably win a game. I think that's probably – I don't know why they don't do that. Matheny takes the snap, drops back all alone. 2 guys in his face. He's going to have to roll out right, make something out of it. He's going to have to throw it away to his own sideline. Nothing there for Matheny. And late flag thrown on the play. Something in the backfield. About 10 seconds after Matheny threw it out of bounds.
Well, I saw a couple of Winfield players that were just sitting on the ground and kind of complaining to the referees about something. Now, I don't know if that's going to be on them or if the referees are going to agree with what the Winfield players were saying. I guess we'll have to wait for the call, but
it appears Hallsville is moving on back, so I'm going to go ahead and guess it's on them. And boy, would it be a backbreaker for Winfield if it's on Winfield.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it based on the body language of everyone out there. Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct against Hallsville here. And is that the 6th unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that we've seen this game?
I think so. I think 5 or 6. This is the most unsportsmanlike conduct I've seen in a high school football game.
I've honestly lost count. It's either 5 or 6. Yeah. I think it's 6. I might be counting an extra one. That didn't happen. Honestly, there's so many in this game. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it, and it makes sense because it's the playoffs, but this is still, even for the playoffs, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, either the players are pretty grumpy or the refs are. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Ball almost dropped and recovered by Hallsville. A little bit of issues returning that for Winfield, but they do fall down on it, so they'll start their drive at the 31-yard line and have to go about 69 yards in order to score a touchdown this drive. So Winfield had just not had any drive start with quite amazing field position, but it doesn't really matter where they are because it seems they get stopped in the same spot every time.
Yeah, I'll look it up to the 40-yard line, and again, that's kind of the do or die spot. They've made it out of that no man's land basically one time, and they scored that time. If they're able to make it past the 35, get into that red zone, it's basically they probably will score, but they've got to make it there first. That's been their problem today.
It's like there's an invisible wall at the Hallsville 35 or something.
That looks like a false,
or not. Martin's going to run upfield after everyone stopped moving and fall after about a gain of 5 yards.
It looked like a late snap.
Yeah, it seems like it was a late snap, and then half the players stopped moving, and then Martin was like, "Oh, okay, if we're not going to move, I'll just run on my own." But
no flag.
I think that's the first time we're shocked that there wasn't a flag.
I never thought I'd be surprised about a no flag on a play, but man, ultimately maybe both teams jumping and they figured out we've thrown so many flags today.
They ran out of flags.
It was gonna be a flag on both teams or something or another.
They're like a magician pulling ribbons out of their hat.
There's the flag.
All right.
They had to wait an extra play. They got the flag in there.
I think they just really enjoy throwing flags.
Have you ever thrown a flag before?
No, I kind of want to.
I kind of want to now as well.
I'd love to.
The more I watch this game, it's like when I watch a basketball game and I'm just like, man, I want to shoot a basketball. When I'm watching this game, I'm like, I want to throw a flag.
I'd love to throw a flag and just have absolutely no explanation for it. Just pick it up.
Well, no, they've got the explanations for it. Of
no,
course,
I'm just saying what I'd personally like to do. I'd like to throw it and just have no explanation and just I just felt like throwing it. My bad, guys.
Well, then the NFL would be a perfect job for you.
Damn, man, those Packers get every call they want.
Well, that's the reasoning. They're the Packers.
Certainly not the Chiefs.
Well, that play not going to get too much on the handoff right there. I mean, it's nice to see that Winfield's going to stick with the run, even with the penalty problems that they've been having, but ultimately doesn't work on that play. And it's a good job by Hallsville to be ready for the run, too. It can very easily, in this type of a game with so many stoppages and so much of the passing that they've been showing off, it's very easy for a team to kind of lose track of the run game.
And that run game has been a consistent staple of Winfield all season, but they've kind of turned away from it, even though we've seen success when they have used it. Martin drops back, heavy pressure. He's dancing around through his pocket, almost brought down, rolling out right. Intercepted, not intercepted, nearly picked off by Hallsville. Could not quite haul it in. Almost a fabulous play.
Yeah,
Tough
Eli
catch to make
Washam.
from Eli Washam, yeah.
Man.
On the sideline, kind of diving out of bounds, nearly had it.
Well, it seemed like he was ready for another huge interception. Of course, he had a big interception in the Blair Oaks game, and, well, he had the pick 6 at the beginning of the season. He's been a huge factor in the secondary. I mean, debatably the best player in that secondary, and in one that has so many good players and so many guys stepping up.
And a fake punt as they're going to not pick up the first down, not even remotely close. As the Warriors, I'm not quite sure what was.
Well, it was a fake punt that you just saw them go
run
up the right side, and
if you're gonna
fake
fake punt,
you're going to usually
15 yards
throw the
out,
ball on
yeah.
a fake punt, but they decided to just take the punter up the right side and nowhere to go on
there's
that
a
one.
Flag on the play. I just threw it from the broadcast booth. Actually, I'm throwing my own flag on the field.
Don't call a fake flag. Don't call a fake flag. There's enough of the real ones.
It's a flag in my heart.
Yes, I am surprised there wasn't a flag on that kind of a play.
Yeah, that was a
trick
weird
play.
What I tell you, they might have Dan Campbell on the sideline. They might just try and run a fake punt.
That
from
was
20
4th and
yards
11. That was 4th and 11. It wasn't 4th and 23.
And they ran it. Just saying. Dan Campbell is in his ear. Matheny hands off to Morris. He's going to barrel through contact. Solid pickup. About 3 yards.
Yeah, pretty good pickup. You like to see that right there. And for Hallsville right now, you're about to enter the fourth quarter, and it's 25-7. You're feeling pretty good. I think the run game is going to be pretty big right here. If you can keep that going, you're going to work that clock continuously down, and you're going to be extending your chances at a victory.
Yes, this is certainly chew clock territory. I mean, at this point, you're still up 3 possessions. The offenses look non-existent for the Warriors. You can go ahead and run this out probably.
Yeah, and so they'll step off the field right now as it looks like the game clock is going to finish before the play clock does. So we will enter the end of the third quarter, and whew, it's a good one, but a shutout third quarter.
Yeah, it's weird. We just saw a pretty strong firepowered Hallsville offense and then not really do too much, but I mean, Warriors had the ball for a lot of that half. There's just nothing going on. I mean, it's hard for either of these teams to gain any sort of momentum when there's a penalty, no joke. Like, on average, there's probably been a penalty every 3 plays. I mean,
I think you're right about that.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand how you can get any sort of momentum. That's why I feel like we haven't seen too many consistent drives. It's pretty much just bombs or nothing.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick step aside. We'll be right back after this.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of the Show Me Sports Network under the broadcasting rights granted therein. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the Show Me Sports Network. Announcers are provided by the Show Me Sports Network.
Well, hello and welcome back into the broadcast booth here from Winfield High School. I'm Austin Thomas, joined once again by Killian Wright as we enter the fourth quarter of play between Winfield and Hallsville, and an exciting game. Hallsville looks to finish out this one strong. It's a 2nd and 7 from where we come back. 12 minutes to go in the District 3, Class 3 quarterfinals. Here's the snap. Matheny dropping back, looking to throw deep on the left side. This one is caught. Ski up the sideline and down at the 2-yard line. A huge play right there. Gets about 25 yards through the air. And Hallsville's got a 1st and goal from within the 5.
And that was just a complete break in coverage there from the Warriors defense. Ski stood still around that 5-yard line. Absolutely no one near him, just wide open. Not sure what happened there. A little bit of miscommunication in the secondary.
Well, a shutout third quarter between the two teams. Neither one scored. And now all of a sudden, Hallsville's right on the door to the end zone. As it looks like this might be Braden Matheny, and he will clap his hands, but there will be whistles blown and a timeout taken by Hallsville. That's their first timeout of the game. They want to make sure they've got a good play here and see if they can extend that lead even further. 25-7, so that's an 18-point lead. You score a touchdown, it's a 24-point lead. That is still a 3-score game. But if you're able to kick the PAT, like, of course, Hallsville has started taking the PATs out of nowhere this game, if they're able to kick the PAT, then it is up to being a 4-score game.
And that probably does all but seal it up. If you're in a 4-score game with just around 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that's near impossible to come back from. Not to jinx anything, but that's probably going to require some early possession turnovers and some onside kick luck to come back, and then very efficient offense, which unfortunately for Winfield we just have not seen much of today.
Yeah, it would kind of be, I would say that's just shy of a miracle to come back from 4 touchdowns in a game in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go, but it's possible. Not likely, and it would take a lot from an offense that has certainly struggled against this Hallsville defense. And now the offense is back out there.
It looks like Winfield might have a trick up their sleeve as I see Eric Cartman on the sideline looking like he's ready to check in on the game right here. Eric Cartman in the bleachers.
Oh, my goodness. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left as Wyatt Morris is in the backfield with Matheny. He's looking to throw back left of the end zone. It is one-handed. Did he catch that? He did. Isaac Stinson. What a grab. Touchdown, Hallsville. My goodness, did I just see that with my 2 eyes? Isaac Stinson rising up like the Statue of Liberty in the New York Bay. And it's 31-7.
And if I've ever seen one in my life, that was an Odell.
Oh, man.
You know how they say? Reach back, leaning back, snag it with one hand, haul it in with no body. That was ridiculous, Isaac Stinson.
An absolutely crazy play makes it a 24-point lead for Hallsville as the PAT by Hunter Noakes getting ready to go. Braden Matheny, the holder. And here's the snap. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it is through. The PAT is good. Hallsville has a 4-score lead in the fourth quarter. 32-7.
Man, Isaac Stinson catch was insane. That was uncatchable for any other player in this field. No one else is hauling that one in. That was crazy. The reach he had to have on that and the balance to stay on both his feet and land and get them both right in the back of the end zone there, that is an impressive combination and blend of hands and positioning and balance. That you just do not see that very often.
No, you don't. Yeah, I mean, you just don't see that anywhere.
He's just special. It's different.
And, yeah, I mean, it's nice that you can see him excelling in the playoffs in his senior season. Of course, this is the last year of Isaac Stinson for Hallsville, and a guy that's been so effective all through his high school career and having a career year here for Hallsville and hoping that he can lead them deep into the playoffs. A 32-7 lead as Hallsville eyes St. Charles West for next week. That is where they will be heading if they can finish out this victory, which it's looking increasingly likely that they will. Kick up and away. It's taken in. Winfield looking to take this one up. Barth tackled down just across the 30, shy of the 35, and right around the 33-yard line. Barth averaging 15.8 yards per kickoff return, and that one about the average, picking it up around the 18-yard line and bringing it up to the 33.
And at this rate, if you're Winfield, I'm assuming you start to see some call it what it is, desperation heaves incoming. I mean, you're going to start to see some very deep shots. I don't think you're going to see very many more screen passes whatsoever. Probably not going to see much more running.
Yeah.
It's kind of deep or bust at this point.
I think you're going to be mid-range passes. You're going to be seeing some crossers, but you're not going to be seeing any behind-the-line passes. You're not going to be seeing many runs. Here's the snap, looking to throw right side, and this one nearly jumped by Washam, but instead he'll get the tackle. It was caught by Barth, just about a yard ahead of the marker, and it's a 2nd and 9.
Man, I want to say Barth is up to almost double-digit catches on the game.
He might be.
I don't think he has too many yards, but, man, he's definitely hit around 8 or 9 catches at least.
Yeah, he is right there.
It's like every other play he's there in the flat.
So Hallsville still looking to play some good defense. And while, again, Barth has been a huge piece, it's really been, it feels like Keel has been the big play guy on the Winfield offenses. They line up, 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. The snap, here's a handoff up the middle, and that's going to get a fair gain of about 6 or so on the carry. Not too bad.
And solid pickup, but as we mentioned, if you're going to go for 6-yard runs the rest of the game, I'm pretty sure this is over.
Well, 6-yard I could see, but you're not going to get a 6-yard run every time.
Yeah.
That's what makes it the big thing, because if you run the ball every single time, if you got 6 yards each time, then sure. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, you're running out of clock by that second drive, though. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking up at the clock right now, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If you're running a no-huddle offense, then maybe. But they are running the huddle offense. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right on the tight end, and here's the snap. It's a handoff going left side. It's enough for the first down. Winfield's got it right at the 45-yard line with 9:44 to go in the game. Hallsville still leading by 25 here in the 4th. Jack Wooden had the tackle.
And you just got to wonder when this urgency kind of kicks in. I mean, this is your season on the line, and you truly are just wasting the game away right now if you continue to run up the middle. I mean, you're on a severe time crunch at this rate.
Yeah, because not only are you're probably going to go for an onside kick after this, even though there's still 9+ minutes left, but you've got to give yourself every opportunity. Here's the snap. It's a pitch right side, and now it's a flicker back the left side. And here he's going to take this one up the left side. Barth cutting back in across the 40 and tackled at the 39-yard line or so. And a flag is thrown as the referee was hit, I believe, right at the end of that play. I think I saw the referee get hit at the end of that play by Winfield. I believe that's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty.
I believe you're right.
And a great play by Winfield, but ultimately it might be coming back. We'll see who they call this on. Looks like they're going to say it's against Hallsville here, as that might have been unnecessary roughness. And then there was also something called against Winfield. I believe those are offsetting penalties. And so it will just play from the spot of the ball being downed, which is at the 40-yard line.
And there were just bodies everywhere on that play. I feel like it was kind of a combination of both teams running into the referee.
Yeah, it was a lot of motion around there near the 40-yard line, and I definitely saw the referee get bumped by Winfield. It didn't look intentional, but you aren't allowed to hit the referee.
No.
And for Hallsville's side, I honestly, I wasn't paying attention to where they were at, so that's on me. You're supposed to be picking up the slack for McKillian. Come on.
I'm too busy, man. I've got a lot of things to do.
Well, the referees are actually off to the side talking right now. Winfield just broke huddle and we're ready to snap the ball, but looks like Coach Stevens wanted a discussion with the referees to understand something, as now the chain gang will move into position. They were still back in the original spot, back at the 45. And so now it's a first down for Winfield. It was an unnecessary roughness against Hallsville, and then unsportsmanlike against Winfield. Here's the snap. It's a handoff up the right side, up the middle, and it's going to get a fair gain there. Not too bad. Gets about 6 or so yards.
Okay, so this is the most consistent Winfield offense we've seen all night, but it's coming at a time where you can't afford it.
Yes.
I mean,
well, that might be why it's working so well.
Yeah, maybe Hallsville is just allowing it. They're probably playing heavy pass defense and being, okay, sure, if you want to run for 5 yards up the middle, go ahead, have it.
Well, I mean, Hallsville, they're not playing for the shutout anymore. I mean, there's nothing really with pride there anymore, so there's really no reason to not let them score. If you're gonna just keep letting them get 5-yard carries, if they score with 5 minutes left on the clock, you're fine with that.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
As long as you're able to work off these minutes. As here's a snap, another handoff up the middle. He's going to get a solid gain, first down. As that was another play and some players going down on the ground, and it looks like the guy who just ran the ball, that was number 42, Xavier Bennett. He just ran the ball and went down on the ground, and that might be, I think that's an intentional injury player.
Yes, there was, I believe it was Ski kind of trolled with a bit of flopping, and then he tried to get back at him. And
well, Alexavier,
I'm not gonna call it faked, but something happened.
Well, not gonna say that.
He was hurt for a few seconds, then he was okay.
That's their injury man out there. Well, that works though. It's a technique. As here's a snap looking to throw now. Martin going deep on the right side. He's got a man and making contact, but he was going for the ball, and Hallsville had the positioning there. If anything, it probably would have been against Winfield because Hallsville had the positioning, although there was contact, no flag thrown, and the clock stops at 8:01 in the fourth quarter. Still a 25-point game, and Winfield looking to get back into this. 2nd and 10.
So they're willing to throw deep now at this point, so it's possible we see it again, but at least they acknowledge at this point that you've got to start throwing in the direction of the end zone, but somewhat vertically.
2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, man in the backfield. Here's the snap. It's going to be a handoff left side. Using his blocker, he's patient, stays up across the 20-yard line and goes out of bounds. Pretty nice carry there by Warren Conrad.
So the Warriors are going to have the opportunity to score with maybe about 7:45 left on the clock if they can score in this play. But in their best case scenario, obviously, is that's what it is. But maybe they can realistically score before the 7-minute mark. And depending on how you feel about recovering an onside kick, you, I guess, give yourself a chance.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 3 here. Ball at the 19-yard line. They got to get it to the 16. 2 men in the backfield. Some motion across from Keel. He goes from the right side to the left side of the offensive line. Here's a snap. Handoff up the left side. He's going to get a solid gain up to near the 10-yard line. It's not too bad of a carry.
Well, I'm interested to see how these next few plays go because, I mean, as you mentioned before, I think you're correct in the fact that Hallsville was kind of just letting them run up the gut and say it's okay. But now that a run up the gut for about 5 or 6 yards probably results in a touchdown, we'll see if Hallsville actually locks in on that run. And if it shuts it down, then I think that confirms your prediction that they were just kind of allowing it.
Yeah, 7:30 to go in the game, and it looks like a timeout will be called here as both teams head off to the sideline. Looks like Hallsville might have called this one, and yeah, they did. 7:32 on the clock. Hallsville wants to make sure that they're playing some good defense out here and utilizing the clock as well as they can. They're up 4 scores right now. You're not worried about the game necessarily in the fashion that you think you're going to lose. You're still very confident that you're going to win, but you just want to increase those odds as much as you can, and the best way to do that is to use as much time here as possible. But ultimately, Winfield has done a good job of getting to the line and getting set and not utilizing much of that clock, although they did start with the ball with 11:24 to go in the half. And then, in the game, they had 11:24 on the clock. It's now down to 7:30, so ultimately was about a 4-minute drive, regardless of being scoring or not. Even if they score, I think Hallsville is going to be fine with that because they utilize so much clock.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario for Winfield, you score here within the next minute, get an onside kick, and score again probably in 2 minutes, and then you're still looking at recovering 2 more onside kicks. So
yeah,
it's looking like it's minimal % chance for Winfield to come out of here with a win.
Yeah, and for Hallsville, I think you're just fine with that right now. You call this drive a success even if you let up a touchdown right here. Even if you let up a great play and it's wide open, I think you still call it a good defensive possession. But here we go. It's a snap, looking to throw. Martin going left side. It's a 50-50 ball, and this time Hallsville wins it. It goes down incomplete. Good defense out wide by Gabe Jenkins, who was one-on-one with Logan Keel.
And Gabe Jenkins coming up once again on the defensive side of the ball. Both him and Aiden Ski having fantastic games out there. Aiden Ski kind of blowing up the backfield while Gabe Jenkins locks down that secondary. Really great examples of two-way players tonight for Hallsville.
So it's a 2nd and 10 with 7:28 to go in the game. Conrad in the backfield, along with Alexavier Bennett at the fullback position. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, and here's the flag.
I believe
prior to the
Hallsville
snap.
jumped. I believe.
Well, we'll see. It might be a false start. We'll see what they call. Waiting for the official signal out there. And it is offsides against Hallsville. So move them 5 yards closer, and it's at the 7, I think. Something like that. The 6. So it is a 2nd and 5 from the 6-yard line. They could still get the first down without getting a touchdown, but it is incredibly unlikely. There's like 1 yard of space to work with. And so the same formation, Conrad and Bennett in the backfield as here's the snap. It's going to be a throw, and this one is caught. Logan Keel beats Gabe Jenkins over the middle of the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Winfield with 7:23 to go.
And that is Logan Keel's 6th touchdown on the year, I believe. And he leads the team in touchdowns, so receiving touchdowns, excuse me. So, I mean, that's their go-to red zone guy, it looks like, and it worked. And now Winfield's going to have about 7 minutes of clock to work, or so about 7:23 exactly, excuse me, to work with a potentially 19 or 18-point deficit, depending on how this conversion goes.
Well, it looks like they're going to be going for 2, and I don't know, Killian. This is a tough spot to go for 2. I don't know, because you don't really get this chance to make it a 3-score game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I quite understand the thought process here, but I'm no coach, so I'm not going to.
Well, I think, come to think of it, what you want to do is you want to make it so that you only have to get a field goal on that last drive, on the 4th score. So what you do is you go for the touchdown, you get a 2-point conversion, and then you just have to kick a PAT each of the next 2 times in order to make it so that it's a 3-point game by the end of that. If you go touchdown with the 2-point conversion, touchdown in PAT, and another touchdown in a PAT, then boom, it's a 3-point game. And that's if Hallsville doesn't score. That might be the thought process here, and so you might as well get this 2-point conversion out of the way early on. But it is a little risky.
Yeah.
We'll see if it pays off. Here's the snap, looking for a quick throw left side, and it's a hook and ladder. Wow! What a play design there. A hook and ladder went to Bo Schulte, who lateraled it backwards to Logan Keel, and he got the 2-point conversion. That might have been one of the best 2-point conversions I've ever seen.
That was probably the most electric play. Not even probably. That was the most electric play from the Warriors offense tonight. I mean, that was ridiculous. Is that Travis Kelce out there? I mean, a tight end hook and ladder, and that was a perfect pass, by the way, from Logan Keel to dish that off to his buddy out there.
Well, it was Keel that got the conversion. It was Schulte that caught the ball and lateraled it backwards.
Just ridiculous. I mean, where not the hate, but where was that for the rest of the game?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it necessarily would actually be considered a reception for Schulte, because I don't think it would be a lateral, because he didn't fully maintain possession. I think he batted it out of the air backwards towards Keel.
Gotcha.
I think. So I think that just goes down as a Keel reception for a 2-point conversion, which ultimately isn't a reception.
Yeah, it was hard to tell if that was if Schulte actually had possession or not, but I mean, if not, then you're definitely right. It would most certainly just be a Keel quote-unquote catch, not actually.
So here's the kickoff, and it is an onside kick attempt. We'll see if it takes an odd bounce. Hallsville's not able to get on top of it yet, are they? Looks like they were able to get on top of it at the very end. Oh, man. Landon Cunningham, just last second, grabbing an arm around the football and keeping it in his possession. And nearly a disaster, but Hallsville does keep the ball. They're still up 17 points. And they're feeling pretty good about that.
And you could kind of hear the crowd get out of their seat and be like, "Oh, is there a chance? Is there a chance?" And,
yeah,
a little bit of a scare there for Hallsville. Kind of, that's not exactly what you would have wanted.
Well, to be fair, there is still a fair amount of time left. 7:20 to go. You didn't need the onside kick at that moment. You might need it later in the game. And because of that, you want to go for it now. Give yourself that extra chance to say, hey, maybe, either way, you need to have a quick stop here as Hallsville unloads this one on the left side, and some kind of pass interference is going to be called between Aiden Ski and the corner over there, and I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I believe that was Logan Keel out there on the defensive side. No, it was somebody else. I can't quite read the number.
I believe it was Isaac Zellner.
Ah, yes, you're right. That was Zellner. Lots of contact. I believe this is going to be defensive pass interference, but it was way before the ball was thrown. Could be offensive pass interference. I believe it's defensive, and yes, it is defensive pass interference. So 15 yards, 10 yards, it's up to the 45. That's where Hallsville sets up shop. Morris in the backfield with Matheny. 3 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Here's the snap. Quick throw to the left. It's caught. Running it up. Got it about 10 yards, and then first down even more and across the 40-yard line. Not a bad play. Gabe Jenkins, 15-plus on the catch. Up across midfield and into Winfield territory. They've got the ball at the 39. Clock is ticking down as Winfield still got all 3 of their timeouts. It's at 7 minutes now and ticking.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when they decide to use those timeouts. I mean, if you get a stop here on first down, then you call it. But if not, it's kind of a tricky spot you're in here for Winfield. I guess you just burn them as soon as you can, honestly. As soon as you get a stop on first down, you probably start burning those.
Hallsville going to use all of the play clock down to 3 seconds. 2-1 takes the snap and a play-action play as here will be a quick pitch forward from Braden Matheny, and ultimately not going to get all too much there, but the clock does stop on the play.
You want to make sure you either stay in bounds or don't throw an incomplete pass because
Yeah, because that was an incomplete pass right there.
Even if you lose a yard or two, honestly, at least you drain off another 40 seconds.
Yeah, so 6:32 on the clock. Maybe not the best. In a lot of situations, you look at that play, that's a smart play by Matheny to just push it out. But unfortunately for Hallsville, that's not the situation they're in right now. 6:32. Now, if that one play is the reason that they lose, then that would be false. There are other reasons. But right now, it seems like that is not going to happen, and it looks like a fumble. There was a failed handoff there. And does Hallsville have the ball? No, they do not. Winfield takes it back. Matheny was about to hand it off to Morris. He wasn't ready for it. The ball hits the ground. Winfield's on top of it. They've got it back with 6:26 to go.
And Winfield now with a glimmer of hope as they're down 17 points, but still have a chance if everything goes right for Winfield here. The game is not over. They keep control of all 3 of their timeouts. And it's a 3-possession game, but who knows? If the Winfield offense puts something together here, we could see a miracle.
It is the playoffs, and you always see crazy stories come about. 32-15. It was 32-7 with just 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It was 32-7. Winfield scored the touchdown, and now they've got the ball back with 6:26 to go. Here's a handoff up the middle, and breaking a couple tackles, gets about 5 yards on the carry. And shocking to see a carry with 6.5 minutes to go in the game from Winfield. It's a 2nd and 6. They need to get going down the field. They're still down 3 scores.
Yes, if you're going to run the ball, it has to be in a no-huddle situation. You cannot waste 30 seconds running the ball and stopping the clock. You have to throw towards the sidelines or throw deep.
5:55. Here's the snap. Looking to throw. Facing pressure. Rolling left. Martin gets rid of it. It's tipped. It's up in the air and drops to the ground. Gabe
Nearly
Jenkins
intercepted.
nearly had that one, but just off the fingertips and drops incomplete. Logan Keel was the intended target. 5:49 to go in the game. Winfield season on the line. Hallsville trying to finish this one out for a chance to play St. Charles West next Friday.
Connor Martin in a dangerous situation back there. Hallsville defenders in his face. Almost threw a pick. We saw that almost exact situation happen earlier in the game. I'm not quite sure if it was Martin or Westhoff, honestly, but I remember one of them vividly rolling out left and nearly throwing it intercepted with a hand in his face.
Here's a snap. Quick throw left side on a screen pass. It's caught, breaking up the field. He gets a few yards, but not much more than that, as that was DJ Barth on the reception. Gets it to a 4th and 3. Hallsville a chance to basically seal this game away if they get this ball back. You get the ball back, you can either A, use all of the timeouts of Winfield, or B, waste about 2 minutes of time. Either one makes it near impossible for the Warriors to complete the comeback if Hallsville is able to create the turnover. It's 4th and 2 from the 48 into Hallsville territory. They got to get it to the 46. As here is a whistle prior to the play, and it's for Hallsville, their final timeout of the half, and it was with 5:07 to go. So this is the last time that Hallsville is going to be taking a break. Killian, what are you seeing right here nearing the end of the game?
Well, Winfield's put themselves in a bit of a tricky spot offensively-wise because your run game has been what you're relying on, and you're in 4th and short, so you'd like to say, hey, let's run it, but also, hey, you have 5.5 minutes left and you're down 17 points, so I guess you can run it to pick up this first down, but you better have a second play ready where you can go throw it deep or throw it to the sidelines or something, man. We're getting down to that phase of the game where every second really does count now because you're not just down one score and you have 5 minutes to go for an entire drive. You have 3 drives to complete in 5 minutes, and it's just not looking good. I mean, if you're Hallsville, a stop here probably all but ends it.
Yeah, and that's really the case that I was trying to make a little bit earlier is you look at it, and Hallsville, they have just been really great at creating these big losses defensively, and if they can do that, well, then they're going to be good at field positioning. But the question is, can they stop them for 0 or less? And, you know, a lot of times when you might have stopped them for 0, it seems like they're stopping them for -7 this game. But you don't need the -7. You just need the 0. So here's the snap. It's going to be a little bit of a quick turnaround. Logan Keel gets the first down and a little bit more. Tumbling forward across the 45 towards the 44-yard line. And it's a first down, and Winfield's season stays alive. 5 minutes in the game remain. They don't have much time. They have to keep rushing here. They still have 3 timeouts, which is key. So if Hallsville gets the ball back, it is not necessarily game over if they score, and he's wide open up over the middle. It's caught at the 30, going upfield on the 20, and tackled just across that on the left side. DJ Barth.
And boy, is this Winfield offense doing exactly what it needs to at this point in the game. And almost perfect execution there from DJ Barth. Couldn't quite get out of bounds, but the effort was there. The mindset is there. And Winfield is moving. If you get in the end zone here in the next minute or so, then you have 3:30 and all your timeouts, and you're down 10 points, and it's a ball game.
4:30 left in the game. Quick throw left side. He's got some space up the sideline. Jukes in up to the 10 and still up to the 7-yard line where he's tackled inbounds though. Clock's going to keep running as Warren Conrad made the catch, but it's not going to start running until the ball is spotted. 4:15 to go.
And Conrad had the perfect opportunity walking out of bounds, and he cut back inside just to
He wanted the
0
chance
yards.
at the touchdown. And that's the thing. Clock starts running. 4:15. Here's the quick snap. Martin looking to throw. End zone. It is caught. Touchdown, but a flag. Logan Keel, I believe, on the reception there, but it might be against Winfield. Looks like it's going to be a holding and hold up here.
If not, that would be Logan Keel's second touchdown of the game. And And Logan Keel just having a night.
Yes, he is. 32-15 the score. And, yeah, it's holding against Winfield. A drive staller, a killer right there. You had a touchdown.
Keel's second touchdown called back of the night. I'm sure he's not happy.
No, he can't be. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Here's the snap, rolling out right side. Martin gets rid of it, and it's batted down by the receiver and incomplete. 2nd and goal from the 17-yard line.
And like I said, if Winfield can score here the next 30 seconds of game time, then it really is a game. You've got 3.5 minutes and all your timeouts for 2 possessions. That is very doable. It's not extremely likely, but it's very doable. We've seen it happen before.
All you would basically just need 1 onside kick is what you would need. And, of course, a good defensive possession, an offensive touchdown, and the field goal.
Yeah, that's all you need, not much.
So here's the snap. Martin pitches this one right side. Again, it's going to be going back on the end around. Barth bringing this one up across the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Call it the 8. A gain of 9, but clock keeps running. 3:45 to go in the game. It's a 3rd and goal from the 8. And they're huddling here. They don't have much time to huddle.
Yeah, you've got to move. Have some urgency. This is your season on the line.
3:30, and they are back. 2 men in the backfield with Martin under center. Here's the snap. It's a fake handoff. He's got pressure, trying to stay up, but he's not going to. Luke Peasley coming through and getting the sack. Clock runs, but a timeout called with about 3:11 left on the clock. And they had to do that.
And despite the huddle, it seems like they could not quite gather a sense of what to do on the play. Somebody missed their block, and Martin had a guy in his face immediately and tried to make something out of it, but just ran into another Hallsville lineman. Like I mentioned earlier, it's these Hallsville front 7. They move on a string. They're all connected. They're one cohesive unit. They're always in the exact right spot. It feels like every single time on every single blitz, they're just in their spots. They shoot every gap, and they don't let Martin really roll out of the pocket too much, honestly. They kind of stop it, and when he does get the chance to roll out of the pocket, they've got a guy in his face, and they force him to loft something up that just isn't very catchable ball.
Well, of course, they've seen that Martin is a mobile quarterback. They know that. He's had several games throughout the season where he's had 9+. He's had 4 games this season where he's had 9 or more rushing attempts in a game. So they know he's able to move around, and they've done a great job at containing him inside the pocket and really pressuring him. But right now, here's the play that matters. It's 4th and goal from the 12-yard line. 3:15 to go. It's a 17-point game. Winfield trying to stay alive. They need a touchdown here. Whistle is blown, and they are ready to go. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Here's the snap. He's got some pressure rolling left side, the dive, and sacked. Hallsville looks like they're going to win this one. It was Jack Wooden who came in from behind and created the turnover on downs. Hallsville's got the ball back with 3:08. 2 timeouts for Winfield and a 17-point lead.
And Connor Martin, senior quarterback, trudges off the field, removing his helmet with his fellow seniors, and I think the moment is kind of set in for those upperclassmen, realizing that their season and perhaps Winfield careers is coming to a close after that sack.
Yeah, and a disappointing sight for Martin, who had the opportunity after not having played since October 4th, came back into the game after the first quarter and, well, not quite able to lead the comeback as Hallsville will just run the ball up the middle as Hallsville pushes the pile and gets about 4 yards. Under 3 minutes Only 2 timeouts for Winfield. They're not calling them.
And it's a really tough situation if you're Connor Martin, like you said. He came in at the start of the year, played fantastic, and then was sidelined for most of the regular season, and unfortunately didn't really have a chance to get out there and continue his fantastic play. And then he's called upon in the middle of the game and what could potentially be Winfield's last game of the season, their first playoff game, and he's called upon to come save the team, and he tried. He certainly put out a strong showing. I mean, more than the box score reflects. Connor Martin played great tonight, but unfortunately it just was not enough.
Pitch left side, and this one is batted up in the air. Wait a second. Did Hallsville keep possession here? It's looking like they did. Ball was on the ground. Aiden Ski had the ball and couldn't quite handle it. Dropped to the ground, but Hallsville did end up on top of it. Man, oh man, that was nearly crisis.
And Hallsville having some strange malfunctions with handoffs in these past couple drives. It's maybe it's nerves, jitters trying to close out this game as they know they're on the verge of a playoff victory. I get it, I understand, but it's pretty scary to fumble near your own 10 like that.
1 and 33 seconds on the clock. It is running now down to 1:30. Here's the snap. Matheny looking to throw. He's got a man wide open. Carter Geisler can't make the catch. He drops it. He was wide open at the 40-yard line and just let it hit the ground. So a 4th and 11. Winfield gets the ball back, but they've only got 1:25. They need a touchdown. They need an onside kick. They need another touchdown. They need another onside kick, and they need a field goal with 1:25.
You tell me the odds on that.
Less than 1%.
You think it's that's about the Bulls' playoff odds, right?
I think you're about right.
Very related to the game, by the way.
Very related. As Hallsville is getting ready and looks like they're going to take a delay of game penalty. So Hallsville will move back 5 yards, but I don't think that really matters too much. They're just looking to punt this one away. It's a 4th and 16. Ball deep back in their own territory at the 13-yard line.
I beg to differ. I think that was a game-defining penalty right there. It's going to change the outcome of the game. It's crucial. At 5 yards on the punt, you never know.
Well, here it is. It's up and away, and it bounces at the 40 and stays just about there, maybe a little bit downfield up to the 45 as the players are faking like they're going to go pick up the ball and then stepping back away from it. 1:13 left on the clock, and Winfield has the ball at the 45 in Hallsville territory, but they need to score. I already went through the method of how to win this game, or to send it to overtime, I should say. That's not even to win the game. That's to send it to overtime.
Yeah. It's a tough path.
I mean, they basically need to be doing, one play touchdown, onside kick, 1 play touchdown.
Yeah,
if that happens, then sure, they've got a shot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The lights that light that way are pretty blinding, if you ask me. I'm not sure they've got too much of a shot at it.
Well, Martin is back out there for maybe his last time as the Winfield quarterback, trying to keep things rolling along. Martin on the right hashes. Has 2 receivers on his left, 2 on the right. Here's the snap. And looked odd off the snap, like there might have been some early movement, but no flags until now.
That will be an unsportsmanlike conduct as Martin chucked the ball at one of the Hallsville defensive linemen after the play. He was not happy with the call.
Yeah, so that's going to be a minus 15-yard play. And, well, it is understandable how high the tensions would be as Martin comes off to the sideline to talk with his coach, and it's a disappointing way to end the season for them. So they're gonna make a move after that. Westhoff comes back into the game. He was the starter today, Colin Westhoff, and So they take off Martin. And so a switch of the quarterback in charge, and understandably so after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at the end of the game. And now they will look to salt away the season, and Hallsville looking to move on. St. Charles West up next. That game will also be broadcast here on MSHSAA TV by us at the Show Me Sports Network. Here's the snap, dropping back and rolling right. Westhoff throws off balance. It's caught, a high-pointed ball going out of bounds there. Gain of about 7 or so.
And you can see quarterback Connor Martin and head coach Corey Elmendorf sharing a moment on the sideline, realizing that their journey together is over. And it's always a sad sight to see in high school football, no matter who is on what team you're rooting for, no matter if you like the players on the other team, if you don't. It's always sad to see those seniors kind of take their last moments on the field and wrap up their journey.
Well, it's a game that meant so much to so many of those young men out there, and they've played this game since they were probably 13, if not longer. For many of them, it's been since they were in the single digits of ages. As here is a rollout left and a deep ball by Colin Westhoff. It's a comebacker. It is caught. Wow, what a play. That is an incredible catch by Bo Schulte. But 48.1 seconds left, and it's a first down.
And Westhoff threw an Iverson moon ball on that. That was kind of crazy. He launched that up, and it probably hung in the air for about 4 seconds. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if we have a counter for how many words that I said during that time that it was in the air. It's probably in the 6 to 7 words range. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
48.1 on the clock. Here's the snap. Westhoff, he's got some time. Looks to throw deep over the middle, and this one is intercepted, I think, by Landon Cunningham. And it is. Hallsville ends this game. Landon Cunningham, and they are moving on to St. Charles West. This game is over. .6 seconds left on the clock, but only 2 timeouts, and they can take the knee, and it will finish off this night. What a season, though, from Braden Matheny that is going to continue. And you look at the Winfield side, and just a disappointing finish for them. They tried their hardest out there. They switched up things with both Colin Westhoff and Connor Martin. Just weren't able to get it rolling against the Hallsville defense, who stood up so strong in the night.
Yeah, it's an impressive win for Hallsville. I mean, considering they come into the playoffs, I mean, four losses in a row, that's not easy to come into the playoffs and snag a win.
Yeah, and now the knee is set to take place. Clock is going down, 30 seconds remaining. And they will step off the field. That does it. And the final score of this one, 32-15. And Hallsville, of course, coming out as the winners here. And so don't go anywhere. We still have our post-game show coming up here with head coach Paul Stevens coming up to the press box, and we'll do the post-game interview with him. Of course, our reactions as well and thoughts on the game. And a look towards next week as Hallsville will look to move on to the district championship. The end of the season for one team and the continuance of the season for another. The Hallsville Indians are moving on to the district semis. Any quick thoughts from you, Killian, before we hit a quick break here?
No, you pretty much recapped it. Just a very impressive showing from Hallsville to come in here and steal a win on the road in the playoffs, advance to the next round versus a tougher opponent than St. Charles West, but a very beatable opponent. Hallsville looked very strong offensively and defensively, both sides of the ball this game. A very strong outing in general and good performance from Hallsville.
A great performance indeed, and we will talk a little bit more about that in the post-game show, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to the Show Me Sports Network on MSHSAA TV.
At Southern Boone School District, our educators do more than just teach. Lives are being shaped for the future before they even enter a classroom. For students to succeed, it takes an entire district-wide team. Our students need you. Join Southern Boone School District's team today, now offering competitive salaries and benefits for all positions. Visit ashland.k12.mo.us and click on the Employment tab.
You want great benefits from your work, but you don't want a boring desk job. Then again, if you're active and working outside, your benefits are going to be awful, if you have any at all. Unless you work at Salter Lawn Service. 4-day work weeks with a full 40 hours, paid overtime, vacation, 401k, and full health insurance. Right now, Salter is looking for career-minded workers, so get started with a career you'll love and benefits you can actually brag about. Apply now at salterlawnservice.com.
We are entrepreneurs, doctors, vets, and storytellers. We're business leaders, educators, and performers. We are scientists, nurses, and trendsetters. We break the mold and get it done. We are visionary, world-changing magic makers. We are Stevens College. Be yourself. Be good at it. For more information, visit stevens.edu.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Since 1951, Ren's Automotive has been the leader in complete automotive and tire services, proudly serving the Ashland community and southern Boone County area. Servicing all makes and models of vehicles, customer satisfaction is their top priority. If your vehicle leaves you stranded, no need to worry, as Ren's Automotive offers 24-hour towing services. To schedule an appointment, call 573-657-4614 or stop by and see Terry, Peggy, Derek, and the crew at 124 East Broadway in Ashland. Ren's Automotive, your full-service automotive repair shop for over 70 years.
At Centurion Cares, for more than 3 decades, their focus has been on exceeding customer expectations for contact center software solutions. Their innovative communication solutions include utility interactive voice response software that allows for smart communication features that let your utility deliver superior customer service 24/7. They also provide other streamlined services like automatic call distribution, automated customer callback, reporting, and quality assurance. To find out more about how Centurion Cares can help your business, call them at 727-421-5300 or look them up online at centurioncares.com. Centurion Cares, innovative communication solutions.
Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
Hello, Blake Gazaway here with the Show Me Sports Network. I've had the opportunity to have some amazing calls, including overtime touchdowns, walk-off home runs, and buzzer-beating baskets. But I've answered another call. That's to serve my community as a volunteer firefighter. Stop and think what would happen if your home or property caught fire and no one was there to put it out. Every day, volunteer firefighters not only save lives and property, but also respond to other emergencies. Nearly 2/3 of our nation's fire departments are manned by volunteer firefighters. And because of this, we simply need more volunteers to step up and answer the call. Stop by or contact your local fire department and see how you can become a volunteer firefighter today. I answered the call to serve my community. Will you?
We need you. We need you. We need you.
We need you, now more than ever.
The Southern Boone School District is hiring part-time bus drivers for route athletics and activities with no experience necessary. Our drivers enjoy flexible work hours, paid on-site CDL training, and paid time off, all while helping our community. The position offers competitive pay. Go visit sbschools.us/employment.
We need you.
Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls, or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we could teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
All right, and a game that ended up as a 32-15 final score. Hallsville is moving on in the district tournament, and what a game that we just witnessed.
Yeah, Hallsville, like I said, with arguably their strongest performance of the season, coming into the game off a 4-game losing streak, picking up a playoff win on the road, that is no easy task. Just from the sound of that, honestly, it just sounds hard. But then when you look at the game itself, Hallsville came out ready more than ever. I mean, the strongest start of the year, easily. Gabe Jenkins with a pick on the second play of the game, followed by a Gabe Jenkins touchdown right after that. And then you saw them kind of spread the ball around to all the different receivers. I mentioned the Gabe Jenkins touchdown. He got the 4th touchdown of the game, but then you also saw Ski haul in one, a long ball from Ski, and a Stinson a short touchdown. But then also that Isaac Stinson touchdown late in the game with maybe the greatest catch I've personally seen in high school football. Isaac Stinson one-handed Moss in the back corner of the end zone. But we saw a Hallsville offense that just connected on all cylinders that whenever they wanted to, really. They only had kind of one drive that really stalled out unimpressively. Other than that, they scored at will, and then whenever it was time to, they chewed clock effectively, too, at the end of the game. They really didn't have too many issues when the game was a close score. They came out ready, and they held the lead confidently. They had the right amount, the right balance of kind of aggression and safety with the ball, all things considered, until maybe the last minute or two. But, yeah. Yeah,
well, taking a look at the district semifinals, Hallsville is going to be taking on St. Charles West in the game. That game is going to be on next Friday at, I believe, 7 o'clock. I can't confirm that, but I'm 97% sure that it is on Friday at 7 o'clock. I know it's on Friday. Same deal with the other semifinal game, which we do have the teams that are going to be playing in there. One of those teams is the 3-seed Moberly, and the other is the 2-seed Wright City, who ended up having a 42-0 win, where Moberly had a 59-20 win in the first round. So it's worth noting that, and these two teams are going to be interesting to look forward to. Of course, Wright City, another one that's a long ways away from Hallsville. And if you are the Indians, you recognize you're going to be on the road. Hallsville is the lowest seed remaining in the district tournament, with St. Charles West the 1 seed, Wright City the 2 seed, and Moberly the 3 seed. Hallsville is the 5 seed. Of course, they are the only team that ended up getting an upset based on seeding, and so they play St. Charles West, which is near here in the St. Louis area, and then in the championship, if Wright City ends up on top, it's going to be Wright City, who is also near the St. Louis area over here, and you could be having 3 straight games that are nearly 2 hours away for Hallsville. So despite Wright City and Moberly being a 2 versus 3 seed, you're probably hoping those games are actually going to be pretty – you're actually hoping that it's going to be Moberly on top, not just because of them being in the lower seed, but more so because they're nearby you and you know you're going to be on the road. That's worth noting as you look towards next week. And, of course, for Hallsville, the main focus, though, is not on that game. The main focus is going to be on the game against St. Charles West, who is the 1 seed in the district.
Yeah, and something I'd like to point out is while St. Charles West is the 1 seed and Hallsville is the 5 seed, this is still going to be a very winnable game. I mean, St. Charles West doesn't exactly have the greatest record either. They were 3-6. They've shown that they're a very beatable team.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break because head coach Paul Stevens is jumping in here. And, well, actually, we're not going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're just going to go right ahead and into this thing. So, Coach, a great win out there. You guys end up getting the big-time victory, 32-15, the final score. And I just want to know, what are your thoughts just firstly coming out of this victory?
Oh, obviously very, very happy for the kids. You know, they work so hard. They've been working hard all year, and it's tough, you know, because it hadn't really showed on the scoreboard. But tonight, they did the little things right. We had a huge emphasis on stopping the run. And I told you this during the pregame interview. If we can stop the run and hold teams for under 100 yards rushing, we're going to win this district. I have no doubt. Our offense is out there scoring points and putting up points. Obviously, we'd like to finish the job there in the second half offensively, but so proud of our kids and excited for the opportunity to play another week of football.
Yeah, well, the run defense, really a good job out there. But one thing that stood out to me really this entire game from both sides of the ball was the penalties that were called on the floor. For really both teams on the field, there were a ton of penalties out there. When you're looking ahead towards next week, how are you guys, specifically yourself, looking at holding back on those penalties?
A lot of our penalties, especially offensively, stem from holding calls, and it seems like it's crucial moments too. I think we had a big catch, 30-yard, 40-yard gain, and then got called back for holding. So just seeing, and correcting the things that we can correct on film. I know up front it was tough offensively with our offensive line because they were just showing us so many different looks and different stunts and sending blitzes from way downtown, and that's tough, for any offensive line. Forget being just high school. That's tough for colleges and so forth. But just try to clean the mistakes up that we can clean up. Obviously, there's going to be some penalties that get called that we have no control over, and it's just next play mentality. But like you said, we got to do a better job of eliminating some of the unsportsmanlike stuff.
Well, I think you also look at the opposing side. Winfield had a ton of penalties as well. You go towards next week, and if you look at St. Charles West, who you guys are going to be playing next week, and they're able to hold off on those penalties, and they're able to play a lot cleaner. How are you guys expecting? Are you guys expecting to still be able to play the run the same way, or did you adjust your game plan today based on a lot of those penalties?
We're going to have the same mentality, stop the run. We know, and I haven't watched too much film on them, but I do know that they like to run the football. They have a massive offensive line, and I think they run like a wishbone offense with 3 running backs in the backfield under center, and they're going to try to just bully us up front. But, we did a lot of good things tonight where we were moving guys around and giving them different looks and sending some stunts to slow down that offensive line of Winfield. And we're going to have the same mentality of try to put our guys in positions to be successful to stop the run and make them do something that they don't want to do, which is throwing the football. And that's the same game plan we had tonight. And I think for the next 3 weeks, it's looking like if we get there to the district championship game, we're going to try to stop the run. That's the biggest emphasis defensively. And then offensively, just taking care of the football and doing what we need to do to continue move the ball down the field and find ways to finish drives with a touchdown.
Well, you look at the way that Winfield played out there, and specifically on the offensive side of the ball. When you guys were heading into this game, you were expecting Colin Westhoff to be under quarterback, and he did start the game at quarterback, but all of a sudden, they make the change to Connor Martin, who comes off the bench and starts passing the ball, and they completely change up their offense. How are you guys able to switch up your defensive composure from all of a sudden they're being a run-heavy team to all of a sudden they're going to pass the ball a lot more?
Yeah, the biggest thing is I told the kids all week we got to just be able to adjust. We had a heavy emphasis on stopping the run, so focused on a lot of that and really didn't do too much this week on stopping the pass because that's something we've been pretty good at all year. And tonight, they did make some plays in the passing game. I think 2 of their touchdowns happened from passes. So we're going to look at film and see what we can correct. And just biggest thing is just making sure we're aligned correctly and we have an extra hat to the ball, so that we can make plays to eliminate what the opposing team wants to do.
Yeah, and there was one play that you talk about misalignment and lining up correctly, and there was one play in particular that I recall where Landon Cunningham was kind of off to the side, and he was talking to the cornerbacks, and they snapped the ball right as he was still trying to get back into position and resulted in about a 30-yard play down that sideline over there. Is that the kind of plays that you're talking about, that you want to make sure that you guys are set up and ready to go?
Yeah, like I said, the alignment, we're still having the same issues of understanding what coverage we're in, understanding, where we need to be at. And I put a lot on these kids, and I understand they're young, but at the same time, we've played a lot of football at this point. So they got to eliminate these big mistakes and identify the formations quicker. But at the same time, we found a way to win, and that's what I'm proud about the most.
Yeah, and, well, finding a way to win out there, the offense really looked incredible in that first half, and it did slow down a little bit in the second half, but I think a lot of that was due to trying to run that clock down, especially in that fourth quarter right there. But ultimately, a great offensive game. Really, what worked in that first half that made your offense so explosive?
Well, the kids came out and they were ready to play football, and I told them we got to come out here, and even though we drove 2 hours on a bus, and it's tough, to come from that transition and playing at their place, but our kids, they stepped up to the challenge. They were ready to play, and they came out firing on all cylinders offensively. They understood the job. We knew that they were going to have to run the football, and they were going to want to run the football, but if we got up early on them and if we stopped the run, then we basically make them play left-handed and have to do something they don't want to do, and that's what we've been trying to do against teams, but unfortunately we haven't really continued kind of carrying over on the lead and stopping teams. But tonight we know we got enough stops, and offensively we got in the end zone more than they did.
Hello. All right, there we go. We're back on here. I'm going to check to make sure that we're still on the air. I believe that we are. The power just went out for a quick second, but we're back on the air. Anyways, that was all that I really had to do. I was just about to close up. Anything else you'd like to add real quick?
No, I'm excited for next week, for the opportunity. We had great fan support and people that continue to
And we're back real quick. We're going to close up. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night.
Serving fans throughout the Midwest and even more around the world. This is the Show Me Sports Network. The proceeding was an exclusive broadcast property presentation of the Show Me Sports Network and was a high-fidelity, all-digital broadcast. This broadcast is copyright by the Show Me Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast without the Show Me Sports Network's written consent is prohibited.